Do you have a pest problem? Got bats, ants, termites? Family-owned and operated, Olson's Pest Technicians have had over 50 years' experience taking care of pest problems in places across South Dakota, Nebraska, and Iowa. Utilizing brilliant methods such as Centricon bait stations for termites and Vicane treatment for bed bugs. There's no pest too tough for Olson's Pest Technicians. If you have pest problems, call 800-KILL-BUGS.
If you are self-motivated, accountable, and eager to learn new skills, we'd love to talk to you about a rock star career. Masaba in Vermillion is hiring full and part-time manufacturing positions for the rock industry. Masaba provides comprehensive training in a clean, safe, and state-of-the-art facility. Masaba offers competitive wages, a fun and interesting work environment and culture. Join our team of rock stars. Visit masabainc.com to learn more.
Grosenberg Implement has their December coloring contest for kids 6 through 12 years of age on their Grosenberg custom calendar. Please stop into any of their 9 locations for a copy if you don't have yours. The winner from each 9 locations will win a $100 gift certificate for John Deere merchandise. Those that have won will be put on the Grosenberg Facebook page in January and will be judged by your peers for a $200 grand prize Grosenberg gift certificate. Stop into any of Grosenberg Implement's 9 locations and ask their part staff for more information today.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 57,000 participants here in South Dakota who take part in high school sports or activities.
At Northern State University, your future starts with an affordable education that's personalized for you. Experience hands-on learning guided by world-class supportive faculty. You'll also enjoy a full campus life with opportunities to choose from numerous student activities and events, all in a safe, welcoming community. At Northern, you'll find a college that's right for you, a place to belong. Your future starts here. Unleash your potential at Northern.
For healthier crops and stronger yields, count on Nutrien Ag Solutions. By partnering with the leader in plant nutrition, you'll have access to innovative products and unmatched service that deliver impact and efficiency to every acre. Healthier crops, happier growers. Lead the field this season and beyond. Find your local crop consultant at nutrienagsolutions.com.
Whether you are pregnant or planning ahead, you and your baby deserve a healthy start. We offer a wide range of services such as advocacy, health screenings and education, care coordination and car seat safety, participant empowerment, referral services, and fatherhood support. To learn more about Great Plains Healthy Start, visit greatplainstravelhealth.org or call one of our 5 service areas today. Brought to you by Great Plains Healthy Start, so that the people may live.
Farmers know crop insurance is essential for managing risk. It's also valuable for maximizing revenue. The crop insurance officers at Farm Credit Services of America have proprietary tools and expertise to deliver the personalized crop and revenue protection you need for the peace of mind you want. Nobody delivers crop insurance like this. Discover the difference by calling 800-884-FARM. Agriculture works here.
What's your big picture?
To keep the farm in the family.
To pay off the loan.
To start my own operation.
To drive Grandpa's combine. Right, Grandpa?
If owning a successful operation is in your big picture, First Bank & Trust has ag experts to help you plan for the future.
To diversify.
To teach her how to drive a combine.
Find out how First Bank & Trust makes managing your farm easier at bankeasy.com.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in South Dakota. This is sportsmanship. School sports, it's not the outcome that matters most, but but the way the games are played. This message presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
In times like these, it's good to know there's a place where people know who you are, no matter how long you've been gone. A place where the smells of home cooking are still in the air, where a simple wave warms your heart, and sharing stories is just a way of life. It's good to be home. Agraria Insurance Company, protecting what's important in life. Contact your local Agraria Insurance Company agent.
Advertising can be a struggle. Where to spend your money? Are you reaching the right audience? If you are looking for an effective method that reaches a large fan base at once, then here is your spot with Live Ticket TV. With over 65 schools in the state of South Dakota, we can help you find the right market. Plus, you can work with me, Heath, and a portion of all sales made go right back to the school. Get a hold of me today and let's get started in helping build your brand with Live Ticket TV.
At Northern State University, your future starts with an affordable education that's personalized for you. Experience hands-on learning guided by world-class supportive faculty. You'll also enjoy a full campus life with opportunities to choose from numerous student activities and events, all in a safe, welcoming community. At Northern, you'll find a college that's right for you, a place to belong. Your future starts here. Unleash your potential at Northern.
There's no better organization that gives back to the student athletes than the Booster Club. The Vermillion Booster Club is committed to helping all student athletes grow. Join the Tanager faithful today by becoming a member at GoTanagers.com. While you're there, check out team apparel for your favorite sports team. Like them on Facebook to stay up to date on all the latest information and sports games. Join the Vermillion Boosters today and go Tanagers! Welcome back to the Vermillion Booster Club Press Box, proud supporter of Tanager Athletics and the student athlete.
See a lot of points return, and that's exactly what we're seeing this year, except there is kind of a little bit of some discrepancies, if you will, heading into this season. Maybe not the size advantage like Vermillion has had in the past. You look at the reliable Leah Herbster, her time, or even the Herbster family and their time here at Vermillion High School have really been that presence inside with the height. Vermillion, of course, does not have that as much this year with Leah graduating. But one thing that has been consistent for Vermillion, if you will, is their guard play. And one of the top point guards for them a year ago, Casey Hansen, is also out this season, at least for now. Has a potential for coming back later on, but of course news broke a long time past this past summer when she tore her ACL. Vermillion did also have another transfer in. We'll talk about her more later. She's also out with a season-ending injury. That is Julia Shaw. Again, we'll talk more about her later on this evening. But Vermillion, with their starting five, all consistent players last year. A majority of them were stars this year, but looking to be more consistently offensively. And then on the return side of that, don't maybe has as much depth as they did the past couple of years coming off of the bench. We'll see how much that plays a factor. Again, that is just kind of diving into the first aspects of this season. As we know, the game tonight going against the Canton Seahawks, a team that is very, very familiar, if you will, at making a run towards state on the volleyball side. This is a team that has been very consistent volleyball and kind of carries over that volleyball team to the basketball court, and a team that did finish on the regular season 14-6 last year. So they show just how good they are, and a majority of their starters are back once again this year. So certainly going to be an exciting season for the Canton Seahawks. But it is time for our first time out. When we come back, we'll join with Cole Larsh. We'll talk more about the standings, more about what we're expecting to see this season, the matchup tonight, before later on here in the pregame show, we'll sit down with head coach John Brooks and discuss more about this team and the expectations they have after going 19-1 during the regular season. Are expectations just as high, or how do they manage the highs and lows of this year? That is all on the way next, as you have it tuned in to Vermillion Tanagers Live, your home of Tanager Athletics. Cole Larsh is coming up next here on Vermillion Tanagers Live and Live Ticket TV.
Give it off to Cisse, gliding to the basket, out to 3, Jay Hayes, good! And Eric Glenn wants to stop the music.
Insurance rates are on the rise, and now more than ever, every penny counts. With me, John Brooks at DFS Insurance, we can look over your coverages and find the right insurance carrier to help you keep your costs down. At DFS Insurance, I'm an independent agent, which allows me to offer a variety of different carriers to fit your needs. When you're ready for your free, no obligation quote, give me a call, and we'll get you on the path to the best and most affordable insurance you need with Dakota Financial Services.
Farming today requires constant adjustment, innovation, and the right seed, and you'll find that with Pioneer Seed at Dakota Seed and Services in Irene and Vermillion. With the most advanced technologies and local experts, Dakota Seed and Service share in your hard work on the farm, adapting to an ever-changing industry. When you need the right seed, protection, and service, make it Dakota Seed and Services in Irene and Vermillion.
Whether you are pregnant or planning ahead, you and your baby deserve a healthy start. We offer a wide range of services such as advocacy, health screenings and education, care coordination and car seat safety, participant empowerment, referral services, and fatherhood support. To learn more about Great Plains Healthy Start, visit greatplainstravelhealth.org or call one of our 5 service areas today. Brought to you by Great Plains Healthy Start, so that the people may live.
Nice.
Maytag appreciates a compliment, but this Maytag washer isn't just eye candy.
Wow.
Inside, it's got the capacity and power to handle even the mightiest loads.
I love this.
Yeah, she's a beaut.
It's a he.
How do you know?
Don't worry about it.
Find Maytag products and the industry's best appliances at your local dealer, Merce Appliance, downtown Vermillion. Since 1966, Louis Cleaning and Restoration has served the Vermillion and Southeast South Dakota area with high-quality work and even higher-quality customer service. At Vermillion's oldest cleaning and restoration company, they pride themselves on providing the best service with friendly, knowledgeable staff. They specialize in cleaning, offering extensive cleaning services with high-powered equipment at an affordable price. Check out their website for a full list of services they offer. And next time you need it clean, call Louis Cleaning and Restoration. Welcome back to the Vermillion Booster Club Press Box, proud supporter of Tanager Athletics and the student athlete. Back here at the Canton Auxiliary Gym as we get you set here on the pregame show for the season opener for girls basketball for tonight for both the Canton Seahawks and the Vermillion Tanagers, along with our producer and color man of the evening. It's Cole Larsh. And that's the buzzer of the end of the third quarter right now in the JV game. Give you a quick little score update there. Canton Seahawks lead the way 32-19 as we get ready to enter the fourth quarter. We'll give you more of an update on the JV game coming up here in just a little bit, but it is continuing on here with our pregame show of talking about this season. As we just mentioned on our pregame open, kind of what we should be expecting coming into this season. And we might as well get into that a little bit more of the expectations, not just of this Vermillion Tanagers team, this Canton Seahawks team, but just even this Class A, this Region 4A that we know is going to be extremely tough. But let's bring it back to Class A as something that was announced at 5 o'clock this evening. The first media poll came out of who we think is going to be inside the top 5. I say we, Cole Larsh and I, are part of the media. And Vermillion grabs themselves a number 4 spot immediately in that top 5, if you will. Again, revisiting Wagner in at number 1. Number 2 is Sisseton. Maybe a little bit of a surprise as Sisseton up that high. T area, number 3, another Region 4 team. Right behind that, it's Vermillion and Sioux Falls Christian, a DAC 12 team. Otherwise, Flandreau, Hamlin, Red Cloud, St. Thomas More, Florence Henry, Aberdeen Roncalli, and Lakota Tech all receiving votes to be inside the top 5. Cole, your first reactions of seeing the top 5 when it comes to Class A. I think maybe both you and I would express shock by one team not just being inside the top 5, but how high they are ranked. But your first reaction when you see that top 5 in Class A?
Well, I think the number one reaction that a lot of people have, especially me, is coming, my alma mater being in this region. But you look at Wagner, once again, the preseason number 1. It just seems like every year, no matter how many kids, how many players they might graduate, they are always up there. Even kind of no matter the sport too, boys, girls, even volleyball especially. That one, maybe not much of a surprise, but it's like, oh wow, here we go again. Wagner's number 1. Sisseton being really high up number 2, kind of surprising, but the thing about that Sisseton squad is they're good enough that they're probably going to win 17, 18 games this year and be in the hunt. It's just a matter of what they can do down the stretch. T at 3, I think, is a no-brainer. I mean, you look, they probably could be higher than that. They know how much talent they have on that team with Vasik coming back, finally going to be hopefully healthy for a full season, the SDSU commit. Then Vermillion down at 4, they got a lot of upside. Sounds like some injury, but this is going to be the year. If anyone's going to be the year, I mean, we'll talk about this a little later as well. Sioux Falls Christian, again, no real big surprise up there at 5, but the receiving votes is kind of what got me the most, is Flandreau and Hamlin, along with Red Cloud and St. Thomas More, receiving the most votes. But that's also the thing with these preseason polls, is you kind of just take the top 5, 6 teams from last year and kind of put them up there. So sometimes you can take them with a grain of salt, but overall, not really surprised, just kind of, you look at number 1, you see Wagner, and personally I kind of rolled my eyes because I'm like, oh boy, they're up there again.
Yeah, it's going to be extremely interesting to see how this season plays out. As you mentioned, it is just the beginning of the season, so a lot is going to happen. I kind of agree with you. Sisseton may be one of that big surprises going into this season. Of course, there's always that credit as well. They come from Class 1A, so maybe the competition, who are they going to play? Aberdeen, Roncalli, Groton area, Millbank, all some strong teams from that region. But as we mentioned, the Region 4A is going to be so difficult to get out of. Cole, we visit, if you will, this Region 4A, not to discredit any team going into this year, but you probably have your two teams. They're going to be towards the bottom. That's the Beersford Watchdogs. The Parker Pheasants going to try and make a little bit more of a climb this year. The boys basketball team is certainly looking to make a huge climb on that Parker side. But again, you look at those two teams, maybe even the bottom dwellers, but then from there, you would put in contention the Canton Seahawks, Dakota Valley Panthers. Canton returns a lot of their starters. Dakota Valley continues to find, it seems, as you mentioned, like a Wagner team. It doesn't matter who they graduate. They always have these girls that are coming back that seem to be really good. And then you talk about from there the depth and the talent of Elk Point Jefferson, of Lennox. You mentioned Katie Vasica. It seems like she's got a great platoon around her. And then the Vermillion Tanagers as well. You look at this Region 4A, and you have to think, once again, just kind of like last year, you could probably take 4 of these teams and put them in the Sodak 16, maybe even 3 of them in the state tournament, and a couple of them are going to get left at home.
Yeah, I think that's what we kind of looked at last year is you look at Region 4, and I think it was 3 or 4 teams that if the Sodak 16 would have started right then without the region play, 4 of them would have been in the top 16, and that's just kind of how it goes. That's why you play out your regions. You hope to get the 2 best teams. Sometimes you can argue that doesn't always happen, but 2 really good teams, no matter what year, are going to come out of Region 4. And like you said, just a lot of teams with a lot of returning starters and a lot of depth and a lot of talent.
Yeah, it's going to be very exciting to see this season. But Cole, we're going to hear this coming up with our conversation with head coach John Brooks. Certainly 19-1 was extremely exciting. Remember, the only loss comes against number 1 Hamlin last year in that DAC 12 NEC clash. Otherwise, they had games that maybe at points they could have lost. You look at the way that Wagner game goes when they played at the Corn Palace. You can even go back to that kind of snow game against Laverne, Minnesota, up at Augustana. It seemed like anything and everything that could have gone right for Vermillion a year ago did go right for them, and they got some luck along the way. Now going into this season, we open up with Canton before coming up next week. We're on the road against West Central, going up against 2 powerhouses, if you will, in the state of Nebraska, with Ponca and Crofton, 2 teams that seem to constantly be at their own state tournaments. And those are just the first 4 games of the season. It's going to be very interesting to see how this season works out. But of course, with the DAC 12, we know how it goes. With inside this region, we already talked about. What are the expectations when it comes to this Vermillion girls team?
Well, I think, like you said, you got a lot of luck last year going 19-1. A lot of things went your way. I always say the law of averages, eventually they're going to balance out. So, I mean, not everything's going to go your way. You're going to probably pick up a couple tough losses against some really good teams, but I still think that somewhere in the region of 15-5, get that 750 win percentage up there, that is definitely possible, but you're going to have to work really hard for it because of all the really good teams you play, like you said. Good teams from down south in Nebraska, good teams from your own region, and then some good teams from all the way across the state. It's going to be a tough year for the Tanagers, but they can win some key games. 15-5 is definitely not out of reach.
I would certainly agree with that. 15-5 does seem very, very reasonable. And just again, putting this into perspective, as of right now, Vermillion already has 4 ranked opponents on their schedule, and that again is just looking at the brief of it. You could see a lot more ranked teams jump up yet this season, again, especially from this region. Should be an exciting year for the Vermillion girls. Going into it, Cole, as we kind of mentioned, we look at this Vermillion team again. This conversation with head coach John Brooks is coming up a little bit more. Casey Hansen, again, that point guard, if you will, runs the offense, bringing the basketball up. She tears her ACL during some AAU basketball this past summer. We also have moving in Julie Shaw, coming from Todd County, the all-state player. She was going to be very exciting. She is out with an injury as of right now, so maybe a couple key pieces. And then just seniors graduating from a year ago. This starting 5 that we're going to see with Vermillion is extremely exciting. It's 5 girls that we know of. The 8th grader Roofers that's going to be in there. Brooklyn Voss, of course, has yet to make her decision on whether she's going to be big-time basketball or big-time volleyball. But then you have, of course, the Cleveland Twins, and then Brooke Jensen from there making the commit to Augustana just about a month ago. So, again, you talk about the talent that there is going to be, but then you look at the bench following behind that. We're not going to see the depth that we're used to from this Vermillion squad.
Yeah, I was actually watching a game back this afternoon, just kind of getting myself ready, and one of the first things you mentioned in one of the first games was when Vermillion subbed, it was 3, 4, 5 at a time. It was almost like a hockey line change. I mean, they subbed so many players in. It's going to be a lot different. You can't do that, but maybe they just adopt the Hamlin mindset from last year. Just play 5 all the time and see how it goes. That was still unreal every time I watched that, but it's going to be a lot different. It's going to be interesting to see how this early season kind of plays out, especially the first game. You never quite know what you're going to get. Definitely a different feel with this Vermillion Tanager squad. Let's just see what they can do throughout the season.
And one thing John Brooks has mentioned to me kind of off air that he kind of wanted to talk about, or talked about to me, was I'm excited to watch the JV game to see how this pans out, to see exactly where we're at. Right now it's 42-19. The Canton Seahawks are winning against the Vermillion Tanagers here in the final couple of minutes of that one. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting when you talk about the depth. Cole, even going back to last year, we mentioned these big names that come back from a year ago. But they were so inconsistent. We saw Brooke Jensen. Remember, beginning of the season, Brooke Jensen went off for, her first couple of games, 30 points. She was averaging, when we went to the SC Classic, over 32 points a basketball game. We thought, oh my goodness, look what we're about to see. And she finished off, averaging 12 points a game. So we saw that just completely drop off. And that just goes for everyone across the board as well. It seemed like one game they'd put up huge numbers, and then the next they would follow that up with maybe put up a point or two. How important is it to have a consistent offense this year going into the season?
I think it's going to be huge, especially like we said, we've been reiterating, especially when you look at the schedule that they play, you have to be consistent against good teams, because any sort of inconsistency, if you don't have a direct game plan, say going up against T when we play them, if you don't have a direct game plan and you know what's going to happen, then your chances of winning go down, because they're so talented and they're so consistent. So interesting to see. Early season, we're probably going to see some more inconsistencies. I'd say about game 5 or 6. Maybe once we start to get probably mid-January, early January, somewhere in there, we'll know truly what this team's consistency is and who the main scorers are. But early season, you never quite know, but consistency is very, very important, especially when going against really good teams.
Well, before we head to our conversation with head coach John Brooks, something, of course, that it's a little bit different, as the boys have not officially got their season started yet. That is upcoming. We take a look at Class A. Sioux Falls Christian is number 1. Hamlin number 2. Dakota Valley, maybe a little bit of a surprise there, coming in at number 3. Sioux Valley number 4. Tied for 5th is Lenox and Del Rapids. Receiving votes, Rapid City Christian, St. Thomas More, Hot Springs, Madison, Pine Ridge. A lot of DAC 12 teams once again on the boys' side. Again, this is a Vermillion team that was very youthful, if you will, last year. Continue to see them grow. What are you excited about the Vermillion boys as they open up their season on the road coming up this Friday?
I'm excited to see. Last time we played is my solo game, because you weren't there last time they played at South Sioux City. They had some studs down there in South Sioux City. I believe Manny Paul averaged about 25 a game. But what I'm looking forward to mostly with this Vermillion squad is all the young guys that are coming back, all that young talent that, like we said, we really hadn't seen in any of Jay Drake's teams ever in his career, is all this young talent. So it'll be interesting to see what a whole summer and now preseason of work has been doing. I'm expecting some pretty good things from this Vermillion boys team, but then again, you look at their schedule, they're going to have a lot of tough contests, especially in Region 4.
Yeah, Region 4, as we mentioned, that DAC 12, once again, you just look at what Class A and the boys' side is, and it already, you talk about the 6 teams, because 2 are tied for 5th, but out of those 4 of the 6 teams, 4 of them come from the DAC 12. So just get ready for the gauntlet. Of course, that's 10, 11 games that you're going to have to go through right there. It's going to be a very tough one for the Vermillion boys and, of course, the Vermillion girls as well, as tonight is the season opener for the Vermillion Tanagers as they take on the Canton Seahawks. Again, the preseason polls are out. Vermillion girls come in ranked number 4 overall. That buzzer is the final here on the JV side as the Canton Seahawks get the win 44-27 over the Vermillion Tanagers. It's time for a timeout. When we come back, we'll sit down with head coach John Brooks and talk about the season opener and the expectations of the Vermillion girls. That is on the way next here on Vermillion Tanagers Live and Live Ticket TV.
CoreCares helps individuals stay at home by offering caregiving, nursing, and medical alert systems in over 55 communities in South Dakota. Specializing in tasks like bathing, meal prep, and medication setups, our well-trained staff delivers exceptional care. We invest in our team through customized training and comprehensive benefits. To learn more about job opportunities or services, visit our website at corecares.com. CoreCares, proudly serving our community.
Best Western Ramkota Hotel in Aberdeen is the place to stay for business or the weekend family getaway. You'll feel right at home with ample parking, spacious guest rooms, and complimentary breakfast. And with a convenient location, you'll have easy access to local attractions and events in the area. While staying at the Best Western Ramkota, guests can enjoy an indoor water play land, an on-site Minerva's restaurant, exercise facility, wedding services, and a business center. For friendly service and a great stay, make your reservation today.
Agriculture is like no other business, which makes Farm Credit Services of America like no other lender. Owned by the farmers and ranchers we serve, our customers have a voice in how we work, a stake in what we do, and share in our success. Discover a lender that works for you at Farm Credit Services of America.
Birds like tanagers are great at flying out of the way to miss your car. Deer and other drivers are not. If you're in any kind of accident, bring your vehicle to Blaine's Body Shop in Vermillion. We repair your vehicle to pre-accident condition and handle the entire process from start to finish, including an accurate estimate and dealing with the insurance adjuster. So good luck to the tanagers, and if you're in an accident, bring your vehicle to
Blaine's Body Shop. Blaine's Body Shop. Automotive collision repair.
In times like these, it's good to know there's a place where people know who you are, no matter how long you've been gone. A place where the smells of home cooking are still in the air, where a simple wave warms your heart, and sharing stories is just a way of life. It's good to be home. Agraria Insurance Company, protecting what's important in life. Contact your local Agraria Insurance Company agent.
Jensen Kennels is your safe place to take your dog while you're away. They have over 7,000 square feet of indoor run space and outdoor play yards. They pride themselves in providing enrichment both mentally and physically for all types of dogs. And speaking of size, Jensen Kennels can host any size of dog, from the smallest Boston Terrier to the largest Great Dane. To find out the full services Jensen Kennels offers, check out their website and Facebook pages. Next time you need your dog to stay in a safe, fun environment, make it Jensen's Kennels.
Welcome back to the Vermillion Booster Club Press Box, proud supporter of Tanager Athletics and the student athlete. Back at the Canton Auxiliary Gym inside the Canton High School on this December 4th. Happy holidays as we move towards Christmas. It's the season opener for the Vermillion girls and the Canton Seahawks here in Canton, South Dakota. Two teams looking to make some noise once again this season. Canton Seahawks finished 14-6 overall. In fact, they had a great showing inside this Region 4A, finishing 5-2 overall. One of their only losses coming against Vermillion inside the region. They're looking to make some noise once again. Also finished 4-6 in the DAC-12, but the Vermillion girls, the reigning DAC-12 champions. One of the goals is to repeat as DAC-12 champs again, and a lot more goals come with this season and a lot of expectations when it comes to this starting five. Let's get all into what we should be expecting with this season, as earlier today I sat down with head coach John Brooks to talk about the season opener and the expectations of another season. Here he is on the pregame show. It's head coach of the Vermillion girls, John Brooks. As we get ready for another basketball season, I know there's a lot to break down here in this first interview, but let's just begin with how about the simple things? How's life been? How is getting ready for this basketball season been compared to last year for you? You kind of had a new job at this time last year, not a teacher anymore. You've been at this new job a little bit longer. How is this season getting ready for it been on your side and the coaching staff?
Yeah, it's exciting. It's basketball season again. It's something that we've been waiting for a long time. The girls have done a lot of work in the off season, and now it's hopefully time to see that stuff pay off. So, gotten ourselves through 2 really good weeks of practice, and kind of told the girls yesterday it's starting off with a conference and region opponent in Canton that returns pretty much everybody off last year's roster that went 14-6 and had the 2 seed in our region. So we're not limping into some easy game or anything like that. It is a very difficult road game to get the season started.
I want to talk a little bit more about the region, and maybe something you are a huge advocate or you've kind of voiced your opinion on this side is moving to a Sodax 32. Of course, that has not happened yet. We know it's going to be difficult to get through this Region 4A because there's probably about 3, maybe even 4 teams that could make the state tournament that deserve to be there that won't make it happen. We also do see some new rules that come along with the fouls and how basketball has changed according to the NFHS over these past year. What do you think about the new rules coming into high school basketball?
Yeah, we kind of forgot to even mention to our girls. We talked to them a little bit about yesterday, just so they're not confused. But obviously, the main rule change this year is we're kind of going to at the high school level the same way they do it with women's college basketball. Of got rid of 1-and-1 free throws, and everything's a 2-shot foul, and you got to get to 5 fouls in a quarter, and then it resets every quarter. So, I think they're trying to keep the game of the flow going, or the flow of the game going. And I think they're trying to get teams off the foul line so much. Some teams get to 7 fouls in one quarter, and then you got to sit through the whole next quarter and watch them shoot free throws the whole time. So I think they're trying to get away from some of that stuff, obviously. But, it allows teams to foul more than though, too. So we'll see how it goes. We told our girls nothing should change for us. We got to play with our hands off. We're not, we try to keep teams off the foul line as much as possible to not give them free points. And if you end up getting to that point, you're giving them 2 free throws now, not just a 1-on-1. So, I don't think it's kind of like with the shot clock when that came in. I don't think you see a whole lot, maybe a few times throughout a game that you really noticed it. But for the most part, I think it should flow pretty normal.
Yeah, absolutely agree with that. All right, Coach, let's dive into this. I know last year when we spoke, actually last time we kind of talked on air, if you will, it was looking up at a scoreboard in overtime, a loss to a T area team. We don't make the Sodax 16. There was so much hype with a year ago that this team not only makes the state tournament, but maybe has a run at playing for a state title. We know that was cut short. Of course, we see some graduating seniors that played a huge factor in that run last year. Going into this year, a lot of talent returns. However, there's a wrench that was thrown into this summer, if you will, with a key injury. What does this team look like? How much can we compare from a year ago to that same run this year? What's with this team, and what are the details on all the returners back for another year?
Yeah, we returned obviously some really good players off last year's team, and tough way to end our season last year. But I think we kind of talked about the only way to get that taste out of our mouth is to start playing again, and luckily we get to do that tonight and kind of flip the page and move into the next season. So we have some really good key returners. 3 seniors that have played a lot with Janaea, Chandler, and Brooklyn, and then obviously our juniors with Brooke is back in the lineup as well, and obviously Casey, most people know by now, suffered a tough injury this summer, and we're not sure if we'll get her back this year or not. And we'll just kind of have to wait and see. And, we had Julie Shaw. She transferred in from Todd County and all-state player for Todd County last year, and she unfortunately probably has a season-ending injury as well. So, we got some really good kids sitting on the bench. And but, Taylor Rubers is back as well. 7th year for us last year, 8th year, she'll be in the starting lineup running the point guard position, and then we will have some new faces out there that we're looking to provide us some depth. I know Taylor Bart is a senior, and she's going to get a lot of minutes, and she's really been a really good player for us in the JV team the last 2 years, so she's excited, and then we'll have some other juniors in the mix as well, and then we have 2 more seniors in Bailey and McKenzie that will be in the mix as well. So different team every single year, no different this year, and we'll just see who steps up and plays well.
Over the past couple of years, you have been known to be a coach that has run the depth. Like, hey, I'm going to come out, here's my starting 5, and maybe halfway through the quarter, if I'm not liking the way things are going, I'm going to make a 4 to 5 girl change because I want to have that talent on the bench. I want to see if we can't change things up and just keep everyone fresh. You mentioned you have some depth, but it's not like it has been in years past that you have a lot of talent come off the bench. You mentioned those injuries. What are we going to see this year from Coach Brooks? Are we going to continue to see you dip 3, 4, 5 girls into the bench, that constant rotation? Or is this maybe a year that the starting 5 has to play a lot more minutes and be very consistent this year?
Yeah, we've always been a team that's played 8, 9 kids, and that we'll just have to see. That's something that we're really trying to juggle the coaching staff right now, and a lot of it is what we told the girls is we just got to start playing some games. We got to. I'm very interested in our JV game tonight. I want to watch our JV kids play and see how they react in that game. I think we have our that starting five that can play a lot of minutes for us. Taylor Bart off the bench is going to be a key piece. She's definitely in our rotation that we can play, and then. We just got to see how some other kids step up and what happens here over the first 4 to 5 games to see how much more production we can get off that bench. But right now, we're probably relying a little bit more heavily on our starters due to a few of those injuries. It's kind of taken away some of the key pieces we thought we'd have coming off the bench this year. But then that's an opportunity for other kids to step up, and excited to see how that goes.
Well, you talk about your starting five. I'm not going to throw any names out there because I think all starting five last year had those games that we see one of them put up 15, 20 points. It's an exciting game for them, and then they come back 2 days later, or they come back the next game and they put up a free throw. And the average is just completely different from what we saw 2 days ago or a week ago. How much more do you need consistency offensively this year? We know the defense is going to be there, but how consistent does the offense need to be for your team to have a great run again this year?
Yeah, we feel like our starting five to be as good offensively as a team as we've ever had, and we have 5 kids on the floor that can all shoot it. They can attack the hoop. They can pass. They can dribble. Our starting five offensively, we like I said, we feel like has a chance to be very good. And I think one thing with the inconsistency in the past maybe is, I know that Brooke and Chandler and Janae, Brooklyn, all these girls have been playing for a long time, but we forget that they've all been very young. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're finally juniors and seniors. And I think just growing up, just the maturity process, mentally how you have to get yourself through a varsity basketball game, I think you're going to see those kids take that step this year as upperclassmen. And I think that's going to obviously benefit us, and hopefully we can get that, like you said, more consistency out of them this year.
I think last year there was a lot of excitement going into the year, and then as you consistently kept winning, you were putting a lot of big games last year. You were winning those games. Coach, I mean, just one thing led to the next. You get the DAC 12 title outright. It just so many right things happened for this team last year, and maybe a little luck was sprinkled in this year. I'm not saying that luck doesn't happen again this year, but how do you make sure you manage the highs and the lows of this year? If it's not exactly what it was last year, how do you make sure you manage that correctly as a coach with emotions on the bench, within the locker room, to make sure the highs don't get too high and the lows don't get too low?
And I think everything did just kind of fall in place. We won a lot of close games last year that could have went either way. But we were able to finish those games out. And if you go through our schedule and our conference and all the classics and everything, you go 19-1. You have to have a really good basketball team, but you have to have some fall in place, like you said, and maybe get lucky every once in a while. It's the battle of the season, and like you said, we can't get too high, you can't get too low. You got to just manage things throughout the year, keep talking to kids through things, and it's the same goal. You drop a game, you might drop a couple games. The goal is to learn from it and get really good by the time February rolls around. And if we can just keep plugging away at that, we'll be fine.
Before we talk, I know we got to get to Canton here, but I want to focus one other thing. You are a coach that has goals that are written in the locker room that the team sees every single day. Can you take us behind the door there a little bit? What are the goals for this year's team?
Yeah, it's the same thing that's hung in our locker room ever since we've gotten here as coaches, and it starts with just getting better every day. But then you get an opportunity to knock down those little goals throughout the year to kind of keep you motivated. And I think the big one is the conference. You're just like last year when we were able to win the conference. That's an exciting time. So trying to win that conference, trying to win the DAC 12 conference, trying to get the 1 seed in regions to secure some home games. And then, the next one is make state, win state. And, those goals have kind of stayed with us forever. Those are things that we're trying to accomplish every year. And, as the season gets going, we see how many of those we can check off the list.
The Canton Seahawks, a team that do return a few starters from a year ago. Their depth, though, as you talk about, maybe yours isn't as deep. The Canton Seahawks, they are known more as a wrestling community, and some of their girls are some big wrestlers, so the basketball team takes a little bit of a hit. We're going to see that kind of again this year. I think a team that is going to maybe shock some teams along the way, or they're going to play a little bit tougher than what we expect at times, and I expect one of those times to be tonight. You're definitely going to see the best of the Canton Seahawks. Of course, it's that first game of the season, Coach. You have no film to judge, so how is your team prepared for the Seahawks?
Yeah, Canton, a team that's very similar to us. With last year, they won 14 games in the regular season, got the 2 seed in regions, and they return almost everybody. And a young team last year that's just a year older is basically what it comes down to. So 2 really good guards with Oakland and Olsteth in the backcourt. Those 2 can really play. They can shoot it. They can handle it. So they're really, really good. And then they got the Katie girl and Meister girl that are kind of more their 3s and 4s. Both of them can shoot it really well from the outside. And then they got Roseboom and Van, who are 2 bigs inside that they can play together. They can sub them in and out for each other. We told our girls, Canton offensively will put 5 kids on the floor at all times that can score. And then they have a really good post game to go around them. So it's just it's going to be a tough task defensively. We're going to have to be really, really good the first night out on the defensive side of the floor. And then you just kind of see what they do if they're on their defensive side. You know, we told our girls, these are things they've done in the past, but whatever they do, we should be ready for. We got stuff in for everything, and then we just got to recognize what they're in and then just go execute.
That being said, is tonight's game won and lost inside the paint? You mentioned the size. I'm not necessarily talking about baskets that are scored, but sometimes we see those big girls get inside, a lot of jockeying around for position, knocking elbows with one another, and all of a sudden we see those foul called, and all of a sudden you're losing size, or maybe Canton's losing side inside that you take advantage of. Is the paint something, a concern of your squad and their squad tonight that could determine who wins and loses?
Yeah, I think always it starts with defense and rebounding. A lot of that is done in the paint. So we're going to have to match their bigs. They have very good size all the way across the board. We have to make everything difficult for them in the paint. We have to rebound everything. And then our advantage, we're hoping that we can win the transition game. You know, we worry a lot about offense, defense, half court. But we got to win transition offense and back into defense. And hopefully we can pick up some pressure every once in a while and cause some turnovers. And, you know, if we can win those little battles, that might be the difference.
We talk about the goals of this team this year. You talk about, of course, winning the conference once again. How important, not only is it to win tonight, that's obvious. We're always trying to win the basketball game, but how important is it to make sure not only is it a good win, but it's a positive win. It's a statement win for your squad tonight to make sure you kind of jumpstart the rest of the season knowing that 19 more teams are on the way.
Yeah, you know, I think the first game is always a chance to just kind of set the tone for your season. Whether the shots are going to go in or not, that's determined. You know, we'll see how that goes. But we can always control how hard we play. We can control how focused we are, our effort, all those types of things, and that just kind of sets the tone. So that's the message coming out of the first game. Worry about the things that we can control. The shots and those things will eventually fall. And if we do all those things that we've been doing every single year, and what we've been doing for the first 2 weeks of practice, we feel like we'll be in a good spot.
Once again, that is head coach John Brooks here on the pregame show as he's talking about the season opener, getting ready for the Canton Seahawks. Again, Vermillion last year, and what a great season it was before it came to a screeching halt in the second round of the region playoffs. You may remember Vermillion finishes 19-1 overall last year, finished as the DAC-12 champions. They went undefeated inside the region, grabbing that 1 seed, easily got past Parker, but then ran into the buzzsaw of the T-Area Lady Titans, eventually losing in double overtime and never making it to the SODAC 16, and of course never making it to that state tournament. But once again, odds-on favorites already inside the top 5. Number 4 in the preseason standings is what the Vermillion girls come in as again, that was released at 5 o'clock this evening. Vermillion girls number 4, and now looking to defend their DAC-12 title and also the Region 4A title, but certainly going to be a tough opening part of the season. Again, the Canton Seahawks tonight before next week taking on 2 tough teams from the state of Nebraska and also always the tough West Central Trojans is another team they're going to have to watch out for. It's time for our commercial break, and when we come back, it's time for tip-off between the Canton Seahawks and the Vermillion Tanagers. That is on the way next here on Vermillion Tanagers Live and Live Ticket TV.
Do you have a pest problem? Got bats, ants, termites? Family owned and operated, Olson's Pest Technicians have had over 50 years experience taking care of pest problems in places across South Dakota, Nebraska, and Iowa. Utilizing brilliant methods such as Centricon bait stations for termites and Vicane treatment for bed bugs, there's no pest too tough for Olson's Pest Technicians. If you have pest problems, call 800-KILL-BUGS.
If you are self-motivated, accountable, and eager to learn new skills, we'd love to talk to you about a rock star career. Masaba in Vermillion is hiring full and part-time manufacturing positions for the rock industry. Masaba provides comprehensive training in a clean, safe, and state-of-the-art facility. Masaba offers competitive wages, a fun and interesting work environment and culture. Join our team of rock stars. Visit masabainc.com to learn more.
Grosenberg Implement has their December coloring contest for kids 6 through 12 years of age on their Grosenberg custom calendar. Please stop into any of their 9 locations for a copy if you don't have yours. The winner from each 9 locations will win a $100 gift certificate for John Deere merchandise. Those that have won will be put on the Grosenberg Facebook page in January and will be judged by your peers for a $200 grand prize Grosenberg gift certificate. Stop into any of Grosenberg Implement's 9 locations and ask their part staff for more information today.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 57,000 participants here in South Dakota who take part in high school sports or activities.
Welcome back to the Vermillion Booster Club Press Box, proud supporter of Tanager Athletics and the student athlete. It's time for the season opener for the Vermillion Tanager girls basketball season as they take on the Canton Seahawks. The reigning DAC 12 champions and Region 4A champs are looking to defend their titles once again against a very talented and a lot of returning talent for the Canton Seahawks. Let's take a look at our starting 5 for both the Vermillion Tanagers and the Canton Seahawks. We will begin with the home team, the Canton Seahawks. Again, a team overall finished 14-7 overall. 4-6 in the DAC 12 a year ago, but 5-2 inside the Region 4A. Their starting 5 tonight will be number 2, Breen Oakland, the 5'7 junior guard. Number 3, Shelby Olseth, the 5'7 junior guard. Number 11, Bria Cady, the 5'9 senior guard. Number 24, Danica Roseboom, the 5'11 senior center. And finally, number 44, Jenna Vanderweer, the 6'1 junior center for the Canton Seahawks. For the Vermillion Tanagers, the starting 5 that is a little bit different from what we saw a year ago, but will probably remain consistent throughout this season, or at least the first half of the season, if you will. Tonight's starting 5 will be number 11, Taylor Roovers, the 5'3", 8th grade guard. Number 21, Brooklyn Voss, the 5'11 senior guard. Number 22, Janaea Cleveland, the 5'8 senior guard. Number 25, Chandler Cleveland, the 5'9 senior guard. And finally, number 33, Brooke Jensen, the Augustana commit, the 6'1 junior guard. Vermillion Tanagers in their usual away uniforms in all red, numbers and letters that are in white. The Canton Seahawks in their home uniforms, all white, with numbers and letters that are in blue, outlined by yellow. We are set and ready to go for the season opener here on Vermillion Tanagers Live and Live Ticket TV. As meeting in the center circle, it's Danica Roseboom and Brooklyn Voss. The opening tap is underway in the season is underway for the Vermillion girls as it's won by the Tanagers and is brought into the front court by Ruvers. Swing it over to Cleveland, who shoots the early three and rattles it home. How about that for Janaea Cleveland to get the season started? It's a made three-pointer and a quick pass that goes out of bounds. It was tipped by Brooklyn Voss, and it will stay with the Canton Seahawks as they still try to penetrate into the front court. Bring it across the front court as they do, moving it from side to side, handing it off now to Katie as she brings it back out to the top they go, as there has been a little bit of a change in the starting five here for the Canton Seahawks, as instead they will bring in Landry Meister. She was not in the starting five just moments ago, but they have brought her in last moment, so make that correction as she takes the spot of Vanderweert. With 4 seconds on the shot clock, the drive-in shot is going to be no good, but a foul is called, and it will send Shelby Olseth, as they say it was a shooting foul, to the free throw line, as it is the first foul of the basketball game, as it will go against the Vermillion Tanagers, and it will be against Janaea Cleveland. And speaking of that, let's bring in Cole Larsh for the first time this evening on the broadcast. Cole, give it to us. What's the new rule change when it comes to fouls that we're going to see throughout high school basketball this year?
Well, one of the biggest changes we're going to see is the change in the bonus. Instead of the 7 fouls and a half being the single bonus and the 10 being the double bonus, we're going to see 5 per quarter is going to be instant double bonus, kind of similar to the women's college basketball rule.
Olseth made the second of her free throws, so it's 3-1. Vermillion leads with a minute gone here in this first quarter. As Cole just mentioned, yes, those going to be probably the biggest change that we will see. According to the NFHS, they moved that rule. Another three-pointer for the Vermillion Tanagers. Brooke Jensen hits this three-pointer, and Vermillion now leads it by 5, 6-1, 6:38 first quarter. Cole, how about the three-point shooting already for the Vermillion Tanagers?
It's been impressive, and for the most part, they've been open because of the early ball movement by the Tanagers, trying to move it around, catch Canton off guard.
Olseth, the missed three from the left wing. Vermillion quickly the opposite way. Voss up with her little jumper. She connects, and Vermillion right now from the field is a perfect 1,000. It's 8-1, 6:15 first quarter. It's in the backcourt. The Canton Seahawks now break a 3-on-1 simply underneath, but it's a layup that was missed by Roseboom. And here come the Vermillion Tanagers across the C logo. It's Ruvers. She drives in now, kicks to Cleveland, out to Brooke Jensen. Another three. This one is off the mark. It's going to be batted back. Janaea Cleveland is going to have to chase it down. They say it's the last touch by the Canton Seahawks in Oakland, and it will stay with the Vermillion Tanagers. A high rebound by Voss that knocked it back to Cleveland. She was trying to save it from going back behind, and eventually it was touched off of Canton, and it went out of bounds, giving Vermillion the basketball back and a fresh shot clock as well. It will be inside. Jumper in the free throw lane is good by Brooke Jensen. She has 5 points, and the Vermillion Tanagers now lead it by 9 at 10-1, 5:35 first quarter. It's along the far wing inside the lane. Quick runner. This one is good by Oakland. And it's the first field goal for the Canton Seahawks. And in the front court, the Tanagers move quickly. Janaea Cleveland has it on the far wing, tries to get it underneath to her sister. The pass is too tall, and it's a turnover for the Vermillion Tanagers. 10-3, 5:15 first quarter. Quickly, the Seahawks, another three-pointer. This one is off the mark as they were moving it around the perimeter. It was a missed free throw by Meister, and eventually another missed shot quickly up the court by the Tanagers on the rebound to Chandler Cleveland. Cole, the quick speed, as you mentioned, ball movement of Vermillion has been very, well, you could say consistent, if you will. It doesn't seem like they've really had this first game jitters. This seems like they're halfway through the season already.
Yeah, it does, and I think the biggest part is, like I said, been moving the ball around really fast. Out of the 4 made baskets for the Tanagers, 3 assists coming for Taylor Ruvers. Early start for the young point guard.
We're almost halfway through the first quarter as well. Usually by this time last season, we'll see Coach John Brooks already make a change. He has yet to do so, keeping his starting 5 out there. Ruvers dishes it to Brooklyn Voss. She has 4 points in the basketball game. And now another quick turnover. Cleveland to Janaea. It's sister to sister, and Janaea hits. 5 points for Janaea Cleveland. It's 16-3, 4:32 first quarter. It's nothing but the girls in red as there's a quick timeout by the Canton Seahawks. Cole, you talk about a lightning start. You talk about a quick start. This is exciting to see, but you got to make sure you keep on riding this wave now of momentum.
Absolutely. It's going to be really big out of this timeout as well because this is more of a strategy timeout, try and catch the momentum, try to slow it down. But Tanager starting lights out. What have they missed? 1-2 shots maybe at the most. Lots of ball movement, trying to catch Canton off guard. Little full court press on the defense, maybe speeding Canton up. That's why they can't get much going on the offensive end. Huge start for the first quarter. But, yeah, like you said, very important to keep this momentum going after this timeout.
Yeah, you mentioned only one missed shot so far for the Vermillion Tanagers and also one turnover here in the game so far for the Vermillion Tanagers. Again, they're already leading it by 13, 16-3, 4:32. I don't think anyone expected Vermillion to put up 20 in this first quarter, let alone the first 4 minutes, if you will. It's in the front court. No, too high of a pass for the Canton Seahawks as they try to get it to Oakland. Goes out of bounds. Now the third turnover of the basketball game for the Canton Seahawks. We see the first substitution as well as Olseth will come out and Jenna Vanderweerd, the 6'1 center, will check into the basketball game for the Canton Seahawks. High press by the Seahawks in the backcourt as they get the Jensen back to Janaea Cleveland. Now the speed easily. Cleveland drives in, puts up her shot. It's off the mark. Rebounded by the Canton Seahawks, but nice job by Vermillion easily breaking the press of the Seahawks. Have it at the free throw line using the right-hand dribble. Bounce pass over to the corner. Now inside the Seahawks working the lane, but it's another quick turnover. Bodies on the ground. It's going to be a jump ball is called, and it will be the possession arrow that points with the Canton Seahawks, so the Seahawks will keep it. 3:58 first quarter, already halfway through the first, and again Vermillion leads it by 13. Neither team has scored since the Canton Seahawk timeout. And now a turnover by Vanderweerd, and here comes Vermillion quickly the opposite way. Brooklyn Voss behind the back pass, but went to the Canton Seahawks, and quickly opposite way brings Canton. Well, that timeout seemed to bring a little bit of the momentum away from Vermillion, but now another turnover. It's Chandler Cleveland wide open off the glass and easy for two. Chandler has 4 points. Again, Vermillion starters have all scored except for Roofers, the point guard so far here in the basketball game, but certainly the 8th grader is going to get her points throughout the season. Another quick turnover. Cleveland drives in, and a foul is called against Oakland. Her first of the basketball game, first team foul as well. It is a shooting foul, so Chandler Cleveland will head to the free throw line to shoot two. Already 4 points in the basketball game. Two different leading scorers for the Vermillion Tanagers with Brooke Jensen and Janaea Cleveland both at 5. Chandler is going to miss her first free throw. And now we'll see our first substitution for the Vermillion Tanagers as it's just one. Barta will come in and Brooklyn Voss will come out. She does look a little gassed with heavy breathing for Voss. Second free throw is off the mark as well for Chandler. So it remains 18-3, 3:15 first quarter. Again, Vermillion only making that one substitution, but Cole, not a whole lot of surprises. Again, that depth that we're used to seeing from Vermillion is not there this year.
Yeah, it's just not there, like you said, and you've got to adjust to it, and if that means making 1 or 2 substitutions per quarter, then that's just what you're going to have to do.
Quickly come the opposite way, the Tanagers, after another turnover for the Canton Seahawks. A deep three from Jensen. It's off the front of the rim. Fight for the rebound, pulled down by the Canton Seahawks, as it's a 15-point lead here for Vermillion with 2:45 remaining in the first quarter. In the coffin corner, they work it into Vanderweerd, and Vanderweerd is able to connect first bench points for either team. It's 18-5, 2:33 first quarter. Roofers has in the backcourt. Now she's going to get hit as she tried to make the pass. It's going to go against Oakland, which will be now her second personal and the second team foul. Again, just a common foul in the backcourt, so reset along the inline, and it'll be Janaea Cleveland to inbound. Couple substitutions as Oakland will come out of the basketball game along with Roseboom. Checking back in is Olseth and Katie for the Canton Seahawks. 18-5, 2:25 first quarter. Almost a bad pass, but it's going to go to Roofers. She has it at the elbow. Jumper, good. And now all starting 5 for the Vermillion Tanagers have scored as Roofers gets her first points of the basketball game, and now some pushing and shoving As Canton Seahawks try to get into the front court, it will go against, I believe, Barta, which will be her first personal in the second team foul called against the Vermillion Tanagers. Janaea Cleveland will come out of the basketball game, and Brooklyn Voss will come in. And again, right now, head coach John Brooks is only dipping one into his bench, as the only bench player to come on is Barta in the first, 6 minutes of this season opener. Have it along the free throw line, extend it. Try to work it down to the left block. The Canton Seahawks have it with 20 on the shot clock. Back to the top of the key, they work the drive, and there's some contact made, and a foul that will go against Brooklyn Voss, picking up her first personal in the third team foul. They do say the foul came before the attempted shot that time. So the Canton Seahawks will have it as they will inbound it. Another quick substitution, as coming back in will be Roseboom, and coming out of the basketball game will be Meister for the Canton Seahawks. 156-20-5. Vermillion leads it by 15, which matches their biggest lead of the basketball game. At the top of the key, control for the Canton Seahawks is Olseth. Olseth uses the left-handed dribble, gets it down to the block, high shot off the mark, but Vanderweerd with the rebound kicks it back out this time. The Canton Seahawks as they reset with the fresh shot clock. Now inside, this one won't fall for Roseboom, as she was right there at the iron but couldn't finish it off. Up to Barta, she puts up her off-balance shot, but they say contact and a foul called because of the wild shot, and it will now be the third team foul on the Canton Seahawks, and it will send Barta to the free throw line. The homecoming queen, to shoot 2 free throws. The foul, by the way, will go against Katie, picking up her first personal. First free throw is up, and this one is good for Barta. So now all 6 players have scored in this first quarter for the Vermillion Tanagers that have played so far this evening. Second free throw. This one is up, and this one's good as well. So Barta hits both of her free throws. Vermillion 2 of 4 from the free throw line, and it's their biggest lead of the game by 17 at 22-5, under 90 seconds remaining in this first quarter. Top of the key, work it down to the block. Vanderweerd goes off the glass and gets it to go. Jenna Vanderweerd off the bench is the leading scorer for the Canton Seahawks with 4 points. The press in the backcourt. Ruvers, the 8th grader, tries to get by it, and contact made, and a foul is going to be called. It will go against Jax, picking up her first personal, and again the 4th team foul. So next foul will lead to bonus here in this quarter. Again, that is the new rule at the high school level, not just for girls basketball, but also for boys basketball as well. We see that 5 foul bonus limit at the college side on the women's basketball side. Inside to Cleveland, she goes up with her shot. Contact was made, no foul called. Vermillion gets the ball back to Chandler. They go. Jumper for her is good. And Chandler Cleveland, now the leading scorer with 6 in the ball game. It's 24-7, 40 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. It's been nothing but Vermillion, and they have been high flying with this offense so far. It's along the baseline for the Canton Seahawks. Meister now has it in the corner as they work it back to the top with Jax. Want to go down underneath the Vanderweerd. The pass is too tall and will go off her fingertips and out of bounds. And it will be Vermillion basketball with 24 seconds remaining here in this first quarter. Cole, what a great opening quarter by the Vermillion Tanagers.
Yeah, I'm not sure they could have drawn up that start any better, and maybe that's what happened is they did draw up the start. They came out with a press, got Canton moving quick, and offensively they just kept moving around the ball. See what they can do here with 12 seconds to go in the quarter.
Well, if they score or not, it certainly has been a very impressive opening quarter for the Vermillion Tanagers. But one thing you'll want to see from Vermillion now, Cole, the rest of this basketball game at least, from this starting 5, is keep it consistent for however long they are out there for.
Absolutely, and one thing they want to try to avoid on the defensive end is fouls, especially if you're only going 1 deep in the bench.
Ruvers, the jumper at the free throw line was off the mark, and that is the end of the first quarter. But as we mentioned, it's impressive from the Vermillion girls as they lead it here early and lead it big, 24-7. As we head to the second quarter, that's on the way next here on Vermillion Tanagers Live in Live Ticket TV.
At Northern State University, your future starts with an affordable education that's personalized for you. Experience hands-on learning guided by world-class supportive faculty. You'll also enjoy a full campus life with opportunities to choose from numerous student activities and events, all in a safe, welcoming community. At Northern, you'll find a college that's right for you, a place to belong. Your future starts here. Unleash your potential at Northern.
For healthier crops and stronger yields, count on Nutrien Ag Solutions. By partnering with the leader in plant nutrition, you'll have access to innovative products and unmatched service that deliver impact and efficiency to every acre. Healthier crops, happier growers. Lead the field this season and beyond. Find your local crop consultant at nutrienagsolutions.com.
Welcome back to the Vermillion Booster Club Press Box, proud supporter of Tanager Athletics and the student athlete. Back here on Vermillion Tanagers Live, it's nothing but Vermillions in that first quarter as they lead it 24-7 over the Canton Seahawks. A very impressive opening quarter by the Vermillion Tanagers. And quickly, there's going to be a violation that's called against the Canton Seahawks, I believe.
Shot clock didn't run.
Okay, thank you, Cole. That's right. It's
so 6 seconds right off the clock, but only 3 off the shot clock, and that's how they're going to leave it, I guess. All right. Not sure if that math is quite working out. I know my high school math teacher, Mr. Johnson, he'd be disappointed in this math right now.
Well, it's 7 seconds, Cole. So it should be at 28.
Technically, probably 29.
28 for 7 seconds, right? It's just like it's.
But the shot clock doesn't start right away. It's 35.9, not 35.0. See, that's where I got you.
Cole, how did you learn math in school?
My math teacher taught me.
Oh, I just learned it by watching the NFL and just remember that field goals worth 3 points and a touchdown's worth 7. Back in the day.
That sounds about par for the course for you.
Ruver's underneath with the shot. She's going to be fouled as she was pushed from behind and will be shooting free throws as the foul that goes against the Canton Seahawks is again resets here. So we're at 1. 5 will lead to bonus. By the way, the foul did go against this time Meister, which will be her first of the basketball game. The first free throw is good from Ruvers, so she has 3 points in the basketball game, and Vermillion is now 3 of 3. Make it 4 of 4 from the free throw line at their last 4 attempts, 4 of 6 for the basketball game, 26-7. A pass that's almost stolen by Brooke Jensen. It looked like two girls competing for the basketball on what was a questionable pass, but they do say a foul instead that will go against Brooke Jensen, picking up her first, and will also be the first team foul of this quarter. Cole, I just realized as well with this new rule, my bonus is off on my foul sheet now.
Got to keep up with the times, old man.
I do. I'm completely off already, and I'm kind of confused at this. Now I'm just drawing lines where they have to be. Three-pointer is off the mark for the Canton Seahawks, rebounded by the Vermillion Tanagers with a 19-point lead, 7:20, second quarter mark. It's Jensen. Makes the move with her right hand inside the perimeter. Now kick back into Barter. Barter will drive, and she is slapped with the high five as she went up for her shot. And Cole, not only are Canton Seahawks giving up fouls, but it seems like every time they are giving up the foul, it's shooting fouls as well.
Yeah, it's either a shooting foul or it occurs back in the backcourt, and those are, especially the ones in the backcourt during the press, you really want to stay away from those if you're trying to speed the game up. But especially the shooting fouls, Vermillion shooting probably what? Trying to do some quick math, about 60% on the game. I know you have it in front of you, I don't, but maybe it's better if they keep getting away with these shooting fouls.
So Barta will head to the free throw line to shoot her second. This one is good. So Barta now has 3 points, all from the free throw line, where she is 3 of 4. It's 27-7, 20-point lead for the Vermillion Tanagers. And again, Cole, I don't think we expected in this opening game a running clock, but right now we are certainly headed quickly towards that. course, have to score 30 or more before we get to that running clock. And again, Vermillion's only 10 points away from it, and we saw what they did in that first quarter. They might just hit that mark as well. Barta drives in the lane, kick back out to Janaea Cleveland. She'll now drive in the lane, tries to put up her shot. Some contact made, no foul called, and then a jump ball as two girls were trying to fight for it before it goes out of bounds. Possession arrow favors the Canton Seahawks, and it will be Canton basketball. Maybe a little of a quick whistle there on the jump ball, I thought. Probably didn't need to be called as quick. And now a basketball that goes out of bounds. And head coach Andrew Stephenson was probably quick to grab that one before it actually went out of bounds. But nonetheless, still Canton basketball in the backcourt. 6:43 remaining in this half. In the backcourt, the Canton Seahawks get it across the timeline. Left-hand dribble by Meister. Underneath they work it, and knocked over that time was Olseth. No foul called, and here comes Vermillion quickly the opposite way. Janaea Cleveland has it blocked from behind. Basketball stayed inbounds, but Canton with Jenna Vanderweer touched it out of bounds, so it will be Vermillion basketball along the baseline. To trigger the inbound will be Brooklyn Voss. 27-7, 6:26 second quarter. Inbound to Jensen, hand it back to Voss. Her jumper is blocked, but right into the hands of Jensen. She misses the easy shot at the rim. Vermillion is confused defensively, trying to get back. Canton Seahawks don't take advantage of. Driving once again is Olseth, and a foul this time is called on Roofers as she got knocked over, but was stopping the movement a little bit of Olseth. So again, the foul on Roofers, picking up her first personal and the second team foul of this quarter. And now we're going to have some extra whistles to make sure everyone checks in and out correctly. You got to let the official explain the foul, and then we can check in. Got to wait for the second buzzer. There we go. Good to go. Barta will come out.
Got to remember, it's everybody's first game.
That's absolutely right. Barta comes out of the basketball game, and Chandler Cleveland will come in. So again, Vermillion so far has only gone one deep into their bench so far. Head coach John Brooks kind of alluded that he might be doing that, and so far we've seen him stay consistent with what he talked about, I guess, in the pregame show. Drive by the Seahawks, kick back out, a deep three. This one off the back of the iron. Basketball is still loose on the rebound. A couple girls dive for it, and now jump ball is called as it's tied up on the hardwood, and it will belong to the Vermillion Tanagers. That's a late call by the officials there. Everyone's kind of looking over to the scorer's table to see where the possession arrow lied. Again, Vermillion led after quarter number one, 24-7. We have only seen 3 points, all from the free throw line here in this second quarter. So kind of the pace of the game has slowed down or gotten a little bit more choppier, if you will. Rivers that drill behind the back, kicks over to Jensen. Jensen spin in the lane jumper. This one off the heel of the iron, missed. Cole lob shots that we saw falling in that first quarter haven't been hitting for the Vermillion Tanagers in this second.
It's kind of like I said with the law averages in the pregame show, just this time it's different. Sometimes you hit all your shots and then you come out a little flat. Just kind of all balances out. Eventually it's going to even back out and both teams are going to start making more shots.
And Canton still looking for their first points of this second quarter. That shot too strong off the glass and rebounded by the Vermillion Tanagers with a comfortable 20-point lead. They do say a kick ball, as extending the leg out there was Katie. She just nicked it. But nonetheless, it will stop play and it'll be a reset along the near sideline as Olseth will check back in. And Skies will check out for the Canton Seahawks. So Canton has gone 4 deep into their bench. Again, Vermillion has only gone to Barta so far. Otherwise, their starting 5 is out there for the Vermillion Tanagers currently on the court. Chandler Cleveland kicks back out to Voss. Pump fake the three. She thought about it. Back out to Jensen. Jensen on the drive. Pull up in the lane. This time she's able to connect. And Brooke Jensen has the first field goal of this second quarter. She also has 7 points for the ball game for the Vermillion Tanagers. Deep three. This one misses everything for the Canton Seahawks and Katie. Roofers across the C logo as they redid the gym this past summer here at Canton. Which, by the way, Cole, much nicer, if you will. Much brighter, as everyone says. And on the volleyball side, the ventilation is no longer an issue like it was at times. And now a foul called on the drive. And the Canton Seahawks will be shooting 2 free throws with Olseth. The foul goes against Cleveland. Chandler, that is, picking up her first personal, the 3rd team foul of the quarter. Again, Olseth will be shooting 2. She is 1 of 2 so far here in the ball game. And misses this one, so Canton Seahawks still have yet to get a point in this second quarter. Brooke Jensen will check out for the first time here in the ball game as Barta is back in off the bench. Second free throw for Olseth, and this one is good. So first point of this second quarter for the Canton Seahawks. She is 2 of 4 from the free throw line, and now a timeout as well. We'll step aside. We're back in 30 seconds here on Vermillion Tanagers Live and Live Ticket TV.
Whether you are pregnant or planning ahead, you and your baby deserve a healthy start. We offer a wide range of services such as advocacy, health screenings and education, care coordination and car seat safety, participant empowerment, referral services, and fatherhood support. To learn more about Great Plains Healthy Start, visit greatplainstravelhealth.org or call one of our 5 service areas today. Brought to you by Great Plains Healthy Start, so that the people may live.
Welcome back to the Vermillion Booster Club Press Box, proud supporter of Tanager Athletics and the student athlete. Back here at the Canton Auxiliary Gym. I don't know why they necessarily call it the Auxiliary Gym. It was the second gym built here at the Vermillion High School. That is the reason why, but it is the main gym that they use for all their varsity sports.
I think it's called the Armory.
Is it?
Pretty sure.
I've always known this as the Auxiliary Gym, I guess. Nonetheless, a pass that goes above the head of Barta. They say last touch by the Tanagers and out of bounds. But Cole, we mentioned this game has gotten really choppy for both teams here in this second quarter.
Yeah, not a whole lot of made shots, to be honest. Defensively, both teams trying to slow the game down almost in their press, especially Canton. They're trying to get the Tanagers to slow down a little bit. And then both teams, like you said, you get down to this offensive end. We've seen more shooting fouls, a lot more fouls actually, and nobody can make a bucket.
29-8, and as you say that, another foul committed by the Vermillion Tanagers, so it will send Vanderweerd to the free throw line. It is also the 4th team foul on the Vermillion Tanagers, so next one will be bonus for the Canton Seahawks. That foul, by the way, comes against Brooklyn Voss, picking up her second, and Vanderweerd is able to hit the first free throw. So again, no field goals yet from the Canton Seahawks here in this second quarter. All free throws they have made. Back to a 20-point lead. Second free throw. This one is good. Vanderweerd off the bench is the leading scorer. She's got 6 points in the ball game. 29-10. The biggest lead of 22 at one point for the Vermillion Tanagers. Barta back to Janaea Cleveland. Only 5 points for Vermillion Tanagers here in this second quarter. Missed three-pointer, but rebounded by Janaea Cleveland. Another foul underneath, and it will send Janaea to the free throw line. Janaea's first trip, she got a quick 5 points here in this basketball game, but has yet to score in the second quarter. The foul, by the way, goes against Shelby Olseth, picking up her first personal and the 3rd team foul. First free throw is off the mark for Janaea Cleveland. Vermillion so far, a little bit of free throw troubles here in game number 1. Second free throw, this one is off the mark as well, and the ball just kind of hung there on the shoulder of Chandler Cleveland and somehow came up eventually with the rebound. Ball then goes out of bounds on the pass. Last touch by the Canton Seahawks. Cole, that just hung on the shoulder there forever.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's supposed to officially be considered that, but I'm counting that one an offensive rebound in my book.
It will go now underneath the Cleveland. She goes off the glass and good for 2. Chandler now has 8 points in the basketball game and is the leading scorer for the Vermillion Tanagers. 31-10, 21-point lead for the Vermillion Tanagers. 3 minutes left to play in this first half. Jenna Vanderweerd, kick to the top. Bounce pass to Olseth. 15 seconds on the shot clock as the Canton Seahawks now with Katie at the top of the key. Working some more of this clock. The drive down to the block. Shot way too high off the glass. Goes out of bounds off of Jenna Vanderweer's knee. And will be Vermillion basketball. Cole, Vermillion has really shut down the perimeter nicely. We thought maybe a little bit with this size, the Canton Seahawks, they could maybe cause some damage, but Vermillion has really shut it down this evening.
Yeah, I think most of it is because a lot of times when they're starting to get penetration, Vermillion's coming over, double teaming, sometimes even triple teaming in the post, trying to take those advantages away.
Three-pointer was blocked on its way through. Vermillion comes up with it, and then Jensen tried to make a pass, but eventually just hits the arms of Katie for the turnover. And across the C logo, the Canton Seahawks bring it. Try to again, once again, they go underneath to Vanderweer. And again, the pass is too tall, and it's a turnover for Canton. Just have not been consistent, only 3 points. The Canton Seahawks here in the second quarter, all coming from the free throw line, so have not hit a field goal in the quarter. It's Roovers, bounce pass underneath to Chandler Cleveland, and she's going to travel. I think she was just trying to turn around and maybe put up a shot to force a foul, but in the end, took too many steps, and it'll go right back to the Canton Seahawks.
Yeah, not something you see every day. Is maybe try doing a little reverse pivot down there, trying to get some contact drawn, and just a little 360.
And now a ball goes quickly out of bounds. And give it right back to the Vermillion Tanagers. As Canton tried to work it along the far sideline and weren't able to do so. Again, gives it right back to Vermillion with 2 minutes remaining in this second quarter. Vermillion really hasn't expanded much on their lead, but still a large lead nonetheless. Barta to Jensen. She'll take the jumper. This one is off the mark as Jensen's really gone cold, just leaving him short here in this second quarter. Across the timeline, Canton goes. Vanderweer. Pass to Meister. Meister troubled underneath. She can't get her shot to fall. And Vermillion will slow it down as they bring it into front court. Rivers lets her offense get in front of her. And now we'll set things up to Cleveland. Turnaround jumper for her. She leaves it short, gets back her own rebound. No one boxed her out. Misses it right there at the iron. And it's rebounded by the Canton Seahawks. And now a quick foul in the backcourt against the Vermillion Tanagers in Brooke Jensen, picking up her second personal. And it is the 5th team foul. So we will see bonus. One of those situations that we finally see that play a factor for the first time this season. 5 team fouls in the quarter, so it means 2 free throws as well with the bonus. No such thing as double bonus anymore. It's automatic 2 free throws once we hit the bonus. And Jenna Vanderweer misses the first free throw. She is 2 of 3 here in the ball game. Olseth will come out of the basketball game. Also, Jensen is out of the basketball game. Barter checks in. And also checking back in is Jax for the Canton Seahawks. Second free throw is good from Vanderweer, where she has 7 points, the leading scorer for the Canton Seahawks. Roovers in the front court for the Vermillion Tanagers. It's a 20-point lead. Drive in, bounce pass as they have it with Roovers, and now contact made and a foul called. By the way, also the last break, Halverson, the junior guard, checked in for the first varsity action for this season. So for the first time we see this season, Vermillion is running 2 bench players and 3 starters currently out there. It was just the 4th team foul of the quarter on the Canton Seahawks, so no bonus yet. Next foul will be bonus as it's kicked back out to Chandler Cleveland. Now to Roovers, to Janea. Janea using the right-handed dribble, back out to Roovers. She shoots the 3. This one's off the mark, and it did hit the shot clock as it went up there, which is considered out of bounds, and will stop the game with 39 seconds remaining here in this first half. It's all Vermillion leading it by 20, 31-11. Vermillion with the press in the backcourt. They work it into Jax. It's now back with Meister. Meister tries to get it into the front court. Finally able to do so. The pass, the drive, and it's going to be contact made and 2 free throws upcoming as the foul will go against Halverson. It will be her first of the basketball game, the 6th team foul. And again, as we reiterate, this is no more double bonus. but 2 free throws automatically once your team hits 5 fouls in any quarter. First free throw is off the mark for Sklies there. Her first attempt at the free throw line this evening. Second one is off the mark as she misses them both. And Vermillion will get the rebound and will have it for the last shot to bleed out the rest of this first half. Roofers to Janaea Cleveland. Hands it right back to Roofers with 15 seconds remaining here in this first half. Roofers trying to get free. Roofers gets to the top of the key with 5 seconds, kicks it out to Cleveland. She'll shoot the 3, gets it. Vermillion, their first 3 of this second quarter comes from Chandler Cleveland. She has 11 points for the ball game, the leading scorer, and Vermillion leads it 34-11 as we head into the halftime break. The Canton Seahawks do not get a field goal in that second quarter, and Vermillion expands their lead to 23 as we head to halftime. Our first half statistics and a look at maybe some scores from across the state of South Dakota. That's all on the way here on Live Ticket TV and Vermillion Tanagers Live.
Farmers know crop insurance is essential for managing risk. It's also valuable for maximizing revenue. The crop insurance officers at Farm Credit Services of America have proprietary tools and expertise to deliver the personalized crop and revenue protection you need for the peace of mind you want. Nobody delivers crop insurance like this. Discover the difference by calling 800-884-FARM. Agriculture works here.
What's your big picture?
To keep the farm in the family.
To pay off the loan.
To start my own operation.
To drive Grandpa's combine. Right, Grandpa?
If owning a successful operation is in your big picture, First Bank & Trust has ag experts to help you plan for the future.
To diversify.
To teach her how to drive a combine.
Find out how First Bank & Trust makes managing your farm easier at bankeasy.com.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in South Dakota. This is sportsmanship. School sports, it's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
In times like these, it's good to know there's a place where people know who you are, no matter how long you've been gone. A place where the smells of home cooking are still in the air, where a simple wave warms your heart, and sharing stories is just a way of life. It's good to be home. Agraria Insurance Company, protecting what's important in life. Contact your local Agraria Insurance Company agent.
Advertising can be a struggle. Where to spend your money? Are you reaching the right audience? If you are looking for an effective method that reaches a large fan base at once, then here is your spot with Live Ticket TV. With over 65 schools in the state of South Dakota, we can help you find the right market. Plus, you can work with me, Heath, and a portion of all sales made go right back to the school. Get a hold of me today and let's get started in helping build your brand with Live Ticket TV.
At Northern State University, your future starts with an affordable education that's personalized for you. Experience hands-on learning guided by world-class supportive faculty. You'll also enjoy a full campus life with opportunities to choose from numerous student activities and events, all in a safe, welcoming community. At Northern, you'll find a college that's right for you, a place to belong. Your future starts here. Unleash your potential at Northern. There's no better organization that gives back to the student athletes than the Booster Club.
The Vermillion Booster Club is committed to helping all student athletes grow. Join the Tanager faithful today by becoming a member at GoTanagers.com. While you're there, check out team apparel for your favorite sports team. Like them on Facebook to stay up to date on all the latest information and sports games. Join the Vermillion Boosters today and go Tanagers. Welcome back to the Vermillion Booster Club Press Box, proud supporter of Tanager Athletics and the student athlete. 34-11 right now at halftime. It's all the Vermillion Tanagers. They opened up with a big lead and have not looked back. Even a little bit of struggle scoring in that second quarter, if you will. In fact, the Vermillion girls only put up 10 points in that quarter. On the opposite side, in that second quarter, the Canton Seahawks only put up 4 points, all from the free throw line, did not hit a single field goal in that second quarter. But more for our statistics, shoot it over to Cole Lars. Cole, what are we looking at for the first half statistics for both the Vermillion Tanagers and the Canton Seahawks?
Well, first we'll start on the home side, the Canton Seahawks side. Not a whole lot to show for. Again, I can't promise the 100% accuracy of these stats, but they're better than any other stats that we've gotten so far this game. So here we go. Bryn Oakland has 2 points along with Shelby Olseth. The leading scorer is Jenna Vanderweerd. She's got 7 points and 3 rebounds. Danica Rosaboom has 4 rebounds. Interesting stat as well, Shelby Olseth, I have her down for 3 blocks in the first half. Canton scores 7 in the first quarter and 4 in the second quarter for their total of 11 points. Now we move to the away side. The Vermillion Tanagers, 34 points in the second half. We'll run it down numerically as I see it on my sheet. Taylor Barta with 3 points, all on free throws. Taylor Roovers, 4 points, 3 boards, 5 assists. Brooklyn Voss has 4 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals. Janaea Cleveland, 5 points, 2 rebounds, including an offensive rebound and a steal. Chandler Cleveland, 11 points, 4 rebounds, including 3 offensive rebounds and 1 assist to round out her stat line. And Brooke Jensen, 7 points, 4 rebounds, an assist, and a steal. Vermillion, they scored 24 in the first and 10 in the second for their total of 34 points. Halftime score 34-11. Heath?
Yeah, Cole, I think we look at that first half. You say 34 points. I think always in high school basketball, you talk to any coach that says, I'm going to give you 60 points as a team, you would say, we're going to win that game on the girls' side. Like, if you give us 60 points, more than likely we're going to win. Otherwise, it's going to be a shootout, if you will. Cole, you see 34, so that means Vermillion is right now on pace to do 68 with your quick math there. I mean, 68-22, yeah, heck yeah. What a great game.
Absolutely.
But let's slow things down maybe a bit. We saw 24 from them in that first quarter, only 10 in that second quarter. Got very, very choppy. We talked about it in the pregame show. Consistency with this offense. Can this offense with not much depth be consistent in scoring? And we see it in that first half. The answer you have to say immediately is no, because 24 points in quarter number 1 followed by 10 points and half of them coming from the free throw line didn't necessarily look the best for the Vermillion girls.
Yeah, and I think one other number that I'm going to say might blow your mind. They've had 18 points in the first 4 minutes of the game. They've had 16 points in the following 12. Interesting stat line there. But, yeah, I mean, you could probably have an argument both ways about the consistency, or you can just say, well, here's the deal. Vermillion came out lights hot, or red hot, lights out, and now everything past that seems like it's really slow and nothing's really been going. But I think the biggest thing you got to focus on right now, obviously that hot start. Vermillions probably need to get some more points there to kind of propel themselves, but defensively for the Tanagers, not a single field goal allowed in those final 8 minutes. That's something that I've been watching a little closer. I'm not sure if it's something they switched at the quarter break or what, but it just seems like no matter what Canton tries to do, they're pressuring on the outside really well. They're not letting anything go inside. They're knocking the ball away, fouling when they have to. I mean, that's been you can talk about the offense how you want, but I think defensively for the Tanagers is where they've been shining so far this game.
And that, too, I feel like we're really trying to dig into something here against the Vermillion girls. So we're talking about, wow, only 34. Like, it seems like that's what we're talking about. Like, wow, 34 points at halftime. Well, that doesn't seem that impressive. It seems like, which it is. So, I mean, a great, as you mentioned, great first half offensively. Just didn't see that consistency. But as you said, you start the basketball game starting off 3 of 3 with 8 points, including, the first 2 shots or 3-pointers that are made. You just, after that, you just kind of expect that. And then all of a sudden it doesn't happen. Now you're trying to, pick apart something that's nothing wrong, especially in that first game, but been very, very impressive. We talked about scores from across the state of South Dakota, a majority of the bulk of the season. If it didn't start Friday night, gets their start tomorrow. Only one game was reported. I believe they're at the end of the first quarter. Sisseton, the number 2 team in Class A, is already out to, I believe, a 15-point lead.
14-2 into the first quarter. They lead Great Plains Lutheran 14-2.
Otherwise, that is the only other game going on in Class A this evening. Again, you look to tomorrow, and it's just one game after another.
Tomorrow's the big day.
And you get a lot of things getting going tomorrow. And of course, this is also, we've said, Cole, kind of off air. This throws things off a little bit because Vermillion plays tonight and then take a vacation. We don't have another game for 8 days before they're on the road up at West Central, a team that's not ranked inside the top 5, was not even getting votes. Very surprising to see West Central was getting no love from across the state. Of course, a perennial powerhouse, if you will, the West Central Trojans over the past few years. Of course, last year was a little bit of a down year, but again, giving no love to West Central, see what they're like, and then getting ready for it. My goodness, kind of Nebraska after that, Ponca and Crofton, 2 of the top teams in the state of Nebraska, if you will, on the girls basketball side. Going to be very, very tough for the Vermillion girls upcoming. 34-11, though. It's been all Vermillion as we get ready to start this third quarter. Cole, I think at this point, just be consistent and go out there and have fun and just keep playing tough defense.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, best case scenario right now for them, they score 7 points, make this thing 41-11, and all of a sudden we got a lot quicker game on our hands. I mean, obviously eventually you want to start playing everybody on your bench too. I mean, maybe not get all of them during playing time in the third quarter, but especially in the fourth quarter, if it's big enough, you want to get those varsity reps on your bench because you never know what situation you might be later in the season where you're going to need everybody, all hands on deck.
Ruvers, Voss, Cleveland, Jensen back out there for the starting 5. Of course, that is Janaea and Chandler. The Cleveland Twins have combined for 16 points with on your bingo card and maybe your betting odds at home. Chandler Cleveland, the leading scorer for the Vermillion Tanagers with 11 so far in the ballgame. Again, she is the leading scorer and only Tanager girl to hit double figures for the Canton Seahawks. Back out with their starting 5 of Oakland, Olseth, Katie, Roseboom, and Meister for the Canton Seahawks. Again, Vanderweerd off the bench, though, is the leading scorer with 7 points. Again, the Canton Seahawks are looking for their first field goal. They did not hit a field goal in that second quarter, so looking for their first field goal since the first quarter, and we are underway in this third quarter. Again, Vermillion leading it comfortably by 23 as a drive underneath is poked and then stolen away. So an turnover on the first possession for the Canton Seahawks to start this third quarter, and Vermillion has in the front court. Vermillion now moving from right to left as you see it on your video screen at home, maybe on your cellular device, wherever you may be. Great to have you along here on Vermillion Tanagers Live, your home for Vermillion Athletics. Yes, we do follow the Vermillion boys and girls basketball seasons. Looking forward to a lot of road trips and a lot of adventures yet ahead. Missed shot by Brooke Jensen, did not draw iron. Vermillion got it back with now 4 seconds on the shot clock. 3-pointer from Jensen is off the mark. Fight for the rebound. This one is pulled down by the Canton Seahawks. And we remain scoreless to start this second half for both teams on an opening possession. Pass knocked away by Brooklyn Voss. We're excited to see what Brooklyn Voss, the senior, makes her decision on whether she's going to continue her basketball or volleyball career at the next level. Both of them are wide open for her. And, of course, can even go that one route, Cole, if you will, of taking it, trying out both if you want to at the next level.
I think it's going to be pretty hard, though, because I'm pretty sure the seasons overlap by a little bit.
Certainly so. And if and you do try it year one, usually, as you play practices, and you're not going to really enjoy your life pretty much. And don't forget all your college studies mixed in there as well. Jensen has it. Inside the lane, kick back out to Voss. To Roovers, over to Brooke Jensen. Underneath to Janaea Cleveland. She was wide open and Cole. Now a couple missed buckets underneath, if you will. Maybe some easy looks. Quick turnover, gives it right back to Roovers. Janaea Cleveland fought for her back, and Roovers now has 7 points in the basketball game. But Cole, we've now seen 2 open looks for Vermillion here in this third quarter. They've missed right there at the rim.
Yeah, I think that's something, maybe a little first game jitters, maybe just not as experienced underneath, but eventually those are going to fall later in the season, maybe even later in this game.
By the way, if I could give any advice to Brooklyn Voss, I would say pick a sport. Had a friend that did that, actually. Did basketball and softball, and she did not last long. She eventually just went with softball. Because she was like, that's a little too much for me. Back in on the inbound, top of the key, rattles the 3. It's the first field goal since the first quarter, as this one's hit by Meister. It's also her first points of the game, first 3 of the game as well for the Canton Seahawks. 36-14, 22-point lead. Controlled with Roovers, backs out a little bit, 18 seconds on the shot clock. Get it to Chandler. Now over to Janaea. Back to the top with Roovers. To Janaea, 8 seconds on the shot clock. Janaea now drives to the elbow. Back to the top with Roovers. She'll drive with the right hand to Barta. To Chandler, she'll shoot the 3. Good! Second three-pointer by Chandler Cleveland. She has 14 for the ball game. It's 39-14, 25-point lead. Three-pointer the opposite way is off the mark. Fight for the rebound. Pulled down by Meister. Try to get the pass. It goes off the foot of Chandler Cleveland and out of bounds. Cole, you might talk about the big girl inside of Chandler Cleveland. She's usually that size along with Brooke Jensen, but she's been dynamite from downtown so far tonight.
Yeah, she has. I think, that's her third 3 now, if I remember correctly, maybe 2.
Second, yep.
Yeah, there we go. Second 3, yeah. That one was a long ways back there. Almost a desperation heave at the shot clock.
And now a pass is going to be tipped and stolen away by the Vermillion Tanagers. Leading it by 25. Quick jumper by Roovers. This one is good. Taylor. She has 4 points in the quarter. 7 for the ball game. It's 41-14. Vermillion's biggest lead now. Only 3 points for the Canton Seahawks here in this third quarter. It was a made 3. Underneath to Vanderweerd, using her left hand. The hook shot was off. Barta saves it from going out of bounds. And here comes Vermillion quickly into front court. Cleveland will drive. Oh my goodness, she got bumped and slapped. And she'll head to the free throw line to shoot 2. As Vanderweerd tried to block her off, but a couple different times makes contact and be heading to the free throw line. 41-14. 4.5 or 4:34, I should say. Remaining here in this third quarter. John Brooks gets up out of his seat and paces back and forth. Free throw is off the mark. No substitutions for the Vermillion Tanagers. 2 for Canton Seahawks, as Caddy and Jax will come in the game. Olseth and Meister are out for the Canton Seahawks. Second free throw for Janaea. This one is good. Janaea, her first point since the first quarter. She has 6 of the ball game. She is 4 of 3, by the way. Oh, excuse me, 1 of 4. Math doesn't add up there. 1 of 4 from the free throw line. It's never good at long fractions, I'll tell you that much. This one goes out of bounds. That's tipped by Barta. It'll stay with the Canton Seahawks as they tried to work it into the near corner.
See, now normally I'd make fun of you for that one, but I got to remember, it is everybody's first game here today.
It certainly is. It was
4 for 3.
I'll give you that one. You can make fun of that one for me. Vanderweerd underneath. This one just rolls out as she couldn't connect. And here come quickly the Tanagers the opposite way with Roofer. She is going to attack on the drive. She is pushed. And it comes before the shot. Second team foul. Now on the Canton Seahawks of this quarter. 4-14. The foul, by the way, will go against Oakland, picking up her third personal. Cleveland, Janaea gets it into Brooke Jensen. Jumper, she leaves it short again. She just has left a few different shots short tonight. A little bit of a struggle. The Augustana commit here in her season opener. Now, pass tip, we're up to Roovers, end to end, off the glass, and good for 2. Taylor Roovers, 9 points here in the basketball game. And now a timeout is called by head coach Stephenson Cole, want to go back to one player. Brooke Jensen, only 7 points for her in the ball game, but we just saw her get involved defensively and then also make the pass up to Rivers. I mean, yeah, she's not getting maybe the points we expect her to see, but certainly high involvement here so far this evening.
Yeah, I think especially when people think of her, you think, oh, pure shooter, really good offensive, but I think one thing that they don't realize is her defensive efforts as well. Currently the rebounding leader for the squad with 6, and all of them on the defensive end as well, so doing a lot more than scoring. If one thing's not going right for you, try and get everything else to go, and I think that's what Jensen's really good at, is try to get something going.
Yeah, always that contribution. You can let it get so much about to you, the emotions of not scoring, and let it frustrate you and let that carry over everywhere else on the court, if you will. But as you mentioned, she's getting involved where she needs to be. Maybe it's not the points, but Cole, we're at a 30-point lead. You don't need to.
No.
It's okay. You don't need to go off for high numbers. You can tell a little bit more comments there from assistant coach Knutson talking to Brooke Jensen. Gabi saying the same thing. Hey, just keep playing great basketball. You're doing great. No need to worry about how many points. Don't look up and say, all right, I only have 7 points this basketball game. No need to worry. Here we go. Canton Seahawks into the front court. Again, only a 3-pointer so far in this third quarter. If you even say only one made field goal since the first quarter. It's been a struggle offensively for the Canton Seahawks. Maybe something we didn't expect to see from Canton here in game number 1. This is a lot of returning talent from a year ago that finished 14-7 overall. And now another pass stolen away up to Ruvers, or tried to. This pass stolen back, and then Janaea Cleveland gets a little handsy and commits the foul, picking up her second personal, the second team foul, and give it right back to the Canton Seahawks. Again, we are at a running clock, by the way, so even with that foul, the clock does not stop, so everything is just going to move a little bit quicker here for this evening.
One thing that Vermillion's changed, especially in this third quarter, is offensively. We saw in that first quarter they were trying to break the press, move the ball really fast. Second quarter they kind of slowed down. Third quarter, back before it was running clock, they started speeding things up, as well as defensively the biggest change. Back to that classic 1-3-1 zone defensively for the Vermillion Tanagers. Earlier in the first quarter, I believe it was more of a 3-2. This one's more of a 1-3-1.
2:33, third quarter. 30-point lead. The drive by Olseth, and a foul called on the drive. That will go against, I believe, Barta is going to get the foul called, which should be the third team foul now here on the Tanagers. And also the second on Barta of the basketball game. A quick substitution as Oakland is checked back in. As mentioned, another region game or DAC 12 game going on this evening as a lot of the season gets underway tomorrow night for the state of South Dakota on the AA, A, and B side of things. 44-14 here, 1:55 third quarter. It's Olseth. They work it over to Katie. 20 seconds on the shot clock for the Canton Seahawks. Now over to Oakland, back to Katie. Katie wants to find something inside, picks up her dribble, nothing there. Meister inside, now they go, and a reach and foul that will be called against Ruvers. And Ruvers will pick up her second personal, but more specifically the fourth team foul, so next one is bonus upcoming. And this time we're going to see head coach John Brooks make multiple substitutions as Halverson is into the ball game, and also Chandler Cleveland is back in, and now we're going to see a timeout in the end from Coach Stephenson. 44-14, 1:23 quarter. We're back in 30 seconds here on Vermillion Tanagers Live.
Give it off to Cisse, gliding to the basket. Out to 3, Jay Hayes. Good. And Eric Glenn wants to stop the music.
Welcome back to the Vermillion Booster Club Press Box, proud supporter of Tanager Athletics and the student athlete. 44-14, still here, the third quarter. 80 seconds remaining. Inbound to Vanderweerd. Her shot is off the mark. Canton saves it from going out of bounds. Basketball, though, is still loose, and finally Barta picks it up to Roovers. Roovers off the glass, but not strong enough, and now a jump ball is going to be called, and it will stay with the Vermillion Tanagers. Cole, something I would like to see as we move throughout the season, let them play it out a little bit.
Yeah, but there's I suppose, yeah.
No, I get what you're going to say.
Right, yeah. There's a fine line between letting them play and letting them throw haymakers out there and throw elbows. But
yeah, you're absolutely right. So, I mean, you can definitely play.
I agree with you. Let them play it out a little bit.
Because, I mean, that one you could even see was getting a little, fight for that ball. Not haymakers being thrown by any means, but certainly so. Deep three. Good by Roovers. And Roovers has been dynamite here in this third quarter. She now has 9 points in the quarter. 13 for the ball game. And now a three-pointer. This one is answered back by Oakland. Her first bucket since the first quarter. And 2 field goals by the Canton Seahawks in this third quarter have both been three-pointers. Voss, she shoots the three. This one is good right before the end of the first half. Brooklyn Voss has 7 points in the ball game, and we move to the fourth. It's 50-17, and it's all Vermillion. And to the final frame we go here on Vermillion Tanagers Live and Live Ticket TV.
Insurance rates are on the rise, and now more than ever, every penny counts. With me, John Brooks at DFS Insurance, we can look over your coverages and find the right insurance carrier to help you keep your costs down. At DFS Insurance, I'm an independent agent, which allows me to offer a variety of different carriers to fit your needs. When you're ready for your free, no obligation quote, give me a call, and we'll get you on the path to the best and most affordable insurance you need with Dakota Financial Services.
Farming today requires constant adjustment, innovation, and the right seed. And you'll find that with Pioneer Seed at Dakota Seed and Services in Irene and Vermillion. With the most advanced technologies and local experts, Dakota Seed and Service share in your hard work on the farm, adapting to an ever-changing industry. When you need the right seed, protection, and service, make it Dakota Seed and Services in Irene and Vermillion. Welcome back to the Vermillion Booster Club Press Box, proud supporter of Tanager Athletics and the student athlete. Well, 50-17 as we enter the fourth quarter. Canton Seahawks have made 2 field goals since the first quarter, including 2 three-pointers in that third for their only 6 points of the quarter. We are seeing a running clock, so it's going to be probably a pretty quick moving fourth quarter as Vermillion does come back out with their starting 5 as well. Three-pointer that's off the mark, goes out of bounds. Last touch by the Canton Seahawks. No, it's the Vermillion Tanagers, so it'll be Canton Seahawk basketball underneath their own hoop. But again, great performance from the Vermillion Tanagers so far as it have 2 girls in double figures, including Roovers, who's a few assists away from hitting a double-double this evening.
3.
Thank you to the stats of Cole Larch with that update. Meister underneath is able to connect off the glass. That was Sklies who makes her first bucket of the ball game. And it's 50-19. Missed shot, rebounded, back up. Chandler Cleveland. This one is off the mark. Vermillion going to run out there with their starting 5 yet for a little bit of time. Again, this bench not as deep as it has been in years past for the Vermillion Tanagers. And then talk about that as well. A couple of key injuries before the season even starts that affects their bench a little bit more of not having as many girls out there, including 2 maybe potential starters, or at least 1 with a season-ending injury. Off the glass and good for 2, as that one is Roseboom for her first 2 points of the basketball game, 50-21. And now a push and a foul that will go against the Canton Seahawks and send Brooke Jensen to the free throw line. Roseboom has 4 points in the basketball game. Foul, by the way, will go against Meister, picking up her second personal and the first team foul. And the first free throw by Brooke Jensen. This one is good. So Brooke Jensen, who did not score in that third, 8 points here for the ball game. 30-point lead, 51-21. Second free throw is off the mark, but it's an offensive rebound by Chandler Cleveland, and then a tie-up underneath. That will be a foul against the Canton Seahawks, their second team foul. Now they'll give it right back to the Vermillion Tanagers.
That's the 5th offensive rebound by Chandler Cleveland here tonight.
Impressive from her, and also the leading scorer as well. And now they get it right in sister to sister, and she goes up with her shot. She is fouled, and will be heading to the free throw line. 51-21, 5:40, fourth quarter. First free throw from Cleveland is up and good. Chandler with 16 points in the ball game and scores in every single quarter. And Rufus is going to come out. You have to believe that's going to be her night. We'll see if it is. If so, she'll finish with 13 on the evening. 16 points for Chandler Cleveland here in the ball game, and now a turnover by the Canton Seahawks on the travel as they got it into the front court. Gives it right back to the Vermillion Tanagers. By the way, Barta is out there taking the spot of Rufus again if she is finished for the evening. I have to imagine she would be, but no official yet to see if it will be the end of the night. Voss, she'll shoot the deep three. This one is off the mark. Another offensive board. Chandler Cleveland goes up, misses, and it's going to be rebounded, and then the carry, if you will. There's big old smiles that time from Roseboom, as she knew she did it as well. Halverson checks in the ball game, and it will be Brooke Jensen who will come out. That'll be the end of her evening, as she will finish with 8 points here tonight. 53-21, 4:30, fourth quarter. Barton just has it, holding on for the Vermillion Tanagers, as Vermillion has 2 bench players, 3 starters out there currently with a 32-point lead. Janaea Cleveland kicks it over to Barta. Holds it above her head. Now kicks to the top with Brooklyn Voss. To Janaea Cleveland. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Janaea Cleveland puts the right-hand dribble down. Rainbow pass to the near side with Brooklyn Voss. Back to the top with Janaea Cleveland. She'll shoot the three. This one off the heel of the iron and rebounded by Halverson. Back to Chandler Cleveland, who can work some of the clock if she wants to. Besides to take the three, it's off the mark, and here comes the Canton Seahawks the opposite way. And now the travel underneath gives it right back to the Vermillion Tanagers. Cole, game number 1. Next time you're going to hear probably Chandler say, no, just hold on to it. We don't need to. Got 30 seconds on the shot clock. Let's work some of it. And now Chandler Cleveland, she'll come out of the basketball game. Janaea will come out as well as the twin sisters check out. And checking in will be Wallen and Baylor for the Vermillion Tanagers. So as more of the bench players will get their chance to start. As Brooklyn Voss, the only starter still out there for the Vermillion Tanagers. Halverson, the left-handed dribble inside the lane, kick back out to Voss. Voss, the drive, she'll put up her shot off the mark. Rebounded by the Canton Seahawks with 3 minutes remaining here in the ball game. The drive, the kick over the wing, the three-pointer. This one is good. Three-pointer that time for Meister, as Meister now has 6 points in the ball game. 53-24, 2:43, fourth quarter. Voss hands it off to Barta, who's got 3 points, by the way, in the basketball game, coming off the bench. Back behind to Halverson. Her foot? No, not on the line. It's good. Halverson, her first points of the basketball game, as we now see 7 different girls to score tonight for the Vermillion Tanagers, and now Canton Seahawks will roll out the rest of their JV team here. It's the timeout called. Get everyone situated. We'll be ready to resume here in just a moment. Cole, though, great opening performance by the Vermillion Tanagers. We talk about them being preseason ranked number 4th, according to the media, and they certainly, if you will, lived up to the hype and took care of business here in game number 1.
Yeah, they did, and I mean, we can talk about the offense all we want, but defensively, only giving up 24 points to, like we said in the pregame show, a lot of returning talent to a 14-7 Canton squad. Maybe just an off night for them, but I think a lot of it has to do with what Vermillion did defensively. Like you said, offensively, you can put 56 points up. You're going to win a lot of games.
First free throw is up after the foul. This one is off the mark. Yeah, you talked defensively. And then, cool, even the depth of this team. We talked about that was going to be an issue. We kind of saw 5-6 girls really be the bulk of this team tonight, and we saw them, something we really haven't seen in a couple of years now, run that consistent 5-6 girls, and they look good with it. They didn't look too far behind. They didn't look really tired. Very impressive from what they brought with those starting 5 and 1 off the bench.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of the opposite of what you see with most teams early in the season is you want to sub in a lot because maybe you're not quite conditioned fully to mid-season form, but it really didn't seem like it affected those 6 at all. I mean, they just kind of rotated in and out a little bit whenever they could, and they seemed to have been running up and down the floor just fine, so I think that kind of shows to how much work they put in the offseason and in the preseason practices.
A little bit of garbage time here as both teams bring out the depth in their bench. The final 80 seconds here of the basketball game. 31-point lead by the Vermillion Tanagers in the drive, and their foul is called. They'll be sending the Canton Seahawks to the free throw line, as towing the line here will be Kalena Halverson for the Canton Seahawks. 56-25. Again, Vermillion is now off for 8 days. Their next game comes up on the road at West Central. We talked about it at halftime. A West Central team that's been a powerhouse in Class A for what seems forever. They were down a little bit last year, but then not even receiving any votes to be inside the top 5 this year to open up the season, as Halverson hits both free throws. Certainly going to be a tough game nonetheless, as Vermillion opens up their season with not only 2 ranked opponents in the first 4 games, but also 2 DAC 12 teams as well. Barta in the lane, kick back out to Halverson. The drive and the shot as she's bumped way off the mark, but will be shooting free throws in the final 40 seconds here of the basketball game. As the clock will now come to a stop for the free throws. And Halverson looking to add to her total, misses the first free throw. Hit a 3-pointer here in this quarter. Again, leading scorer, probably the MVP goal of the game has to be Chandler Cleveland. She finishes with 16 points on the night. Free throw, second one off the mark for Halverson. In fact, Vermillion girls hit 2 in double figures this evening, but very consistent, or I should say, very even scoring across the board tonight for the Vermillion Tanagers. We'll talk more about that coming up here in the postgame show. As a kick ball by the Canton Seahawks, Vermillion can take their time trying to inbound this here, and certainly are doing so. They might just run out the rest of this clock in the final 10 seconds as they'll try to inbound, get to Barta, and has to do nothing. Over and back, though. She can't step across the inline. Doesn't matter. 56-27. That is your final, as Vermillion Tanagers get the win over the Canton Seahawks in dominating fashion. Cole, we talked about just a moment ago, coming out with a statement win, and they certainly do so tonight for the Vermillion Tanager girls and putting a big mark on this start to the season, beginning not only 1-0, but getting a victory in dominating fashion.
Yeah, I mean, like I said at the start, you score 18 points the first 4 minutes. I'm not sure if you could draw it up any better than that, and then just come out, keep on, especially defensively, never let their foot off the pedal. Offensively, maybe struggled a little bit in that second quarter, late in that first, but then kind of got their rhythm back after halftime, and absolutely a really, really good win, especially considering it's the first game of the year.
Again, your final 56-27. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, your post-game statistics. We'll see if we can't sit down with head coach John Brooks and also sit down with a player as well. That is all coming up here on the post-game show on Live Ticket TV and Vermillion Tanagers Live.
Whether you're pregnant or planning ahead, you and your baby deserve a healthy start. We offer a wide range of services such as advocacy, health screenings and education, care coordination and car seat safety, participant empowerment, referral services, and fatherhood support. To learn more about Great Plains Healthy Start, visit greatplainstravelhealth.org or call one of our 5 service areas today. Brought to you by Great Plains Healthy Start, so that the people may live.
Nice. Maytag appreciates a compliment, but this Maytag washer isn't just eye candy.
Wow.
Inside, it's got the capacity and power to handle even the mightiest loads.
I love this.
Yeah, she's a beaut.
It's a he.
How do you know?
Don't worry about it.
Find Maytag products and the industry's best appliances at your local dealer, Merce Appliance, downtown Vermillion. Since 1966, Louis Cleaning and Restoration has served the Vermillion and southeast South Dakota area with high-quality work and even higher-quality customer service. At Vermillion's oldest cleaning and restoration company, they pride themselves on providing the best service with friendly, knowledgeable staff. They specialize in cleaning, offering extensive cleaning services with high-powered equipment at an affordable price. Check out their website for a full list of services they offer. And next time you need it clean, call Louis Cleaning and Restoration.
Core Cares helps individuals stay at home by offering caregiving, nursing, and medical alert systems in over 55 communities in South Dakota. Specializing in tasks like bathing, meal prep, and medication setups, our well-trained staff delivers exceptional care. We invest in our team through customized training and comprehensive benefits. To learn more about job opportunities or services, visit our website at corecares.com. Core Cares, proudly serving our community.
Welcome back to the Vermillion Booster Club Press Box, proud supporter of Tanager Athletics and the student athlete. Big statement win from the Vermillion Tanagers as they get the victory tonight, 56-27 over the Canton Seahawks. A great performance from the Vermillion girls all around offensively and defensively. The leading scorer tonight, Chandler Cleveland for the Vermillion girls. Very impressive performance from her. Also great offensive rebounding from Chandler Cleveland, as Cole Larsh will have the stats coming up here in just a moment. But again, we go into this season, a lot of expectations once again from this Vermillion girls team. What were they going to do? How was this going to look with a couple key pieces, with some huge injuries? How deep could they go into their bench? Again, the questions go on and on. Preseason ranked number 4 that came out a couple hours before this game. Nonetheless, a statement win and a huge statement win that it wasn't a question about this game. If you're head coach John Brooks, you couldn't have drawn it up any better to get the win the way they did, and have to be very, very impressed with this performance tonight from the Vermillion girls to get a dominating win. And not only is it a good win, it's a win over a DAC 12 team. It's a win over a Region 4A opponent. Just all helps down the line in this season, what is going to be another very tough season upcoming for the Vermillion Tanagers. Cole, though, let's get into our final statistics. As we mentioned, Chandler Cleveland is the leading scorer, but how did it all break out for both teams tonight?
Yeah, first we're going to start on the home side, the Canton Seahawks. They score a total of 27 points. Bryn Oakland finished with 5 points. Kellyanne Halverson finished with 2. Avila Jacks had 1. Landry Meister had 2 3-pointers as well as 3 rebounds. Danica Rosaboom, 4 points, 8 rebounds for her. Jenna Vandeweerd, 7 points, 3 boards, did not score in the second half. Canton scores 7 in the first, 4 in the second, 6 in the third, and 10 in the fourth, for their total of 27 points. Now for the visiting team, the Vermillion Tanagers, the victors tonight, score 56 points. We'll go down the line as we see it numerically. Taylor Barta had 3 points on 3 free throws, as well as a rebound, an assist, and 2 steals. Taylor Roovers, 13 points, 3 rebounds, 7 assists, as well as 3 steals for her. Maya Halverson, 3 points and an offensive rebound. Brooklyn Voss, 7 points, 2 boards, 2 assists, and 3 steals for her. Janaea Cleveland finished with 6 points, 3 boards, 1 assist, and 2 steals. Chandler Cleveland, the leading scorer, and we could probably say undoubtedly the MVP. 17 points, 7 rebounds, including 6 on the offensive end, as well as 1 assist. Brooke Jensen rounds out scoring with 8 points, 5 rebounds, an assist, and a steal. Vermillion, 24 points in the first quarter, 10 in the second, 16 in the third, and 6 in the fourth quarter for their total of 56 points. Again, final score here tonight, 56-27. Vermillion moves to 1-0. Canton falls to 0-1. Heath.
As we mentioned, Cole, not only is it 1-0, but again, it's 1-0 on the side of being inside the DAC 12, 1-0 inside of being the region as well. Cole, we talk about the hot start in that first quarter, putting up 24 points, followed by, I guess, well, you could just say 32 for the rest of the basketball game. And again, that seems like it's nitpicking the offense. But going off that, we talk about, getting to that point of maybe 60 points. You'd love to see them continue to grow throughout the rest of the season offensively.
Yeah, I mean, we can take, and like we said, the numbers are definitely going to be skewed because the first quarter you started off so hot. But the rest of the game, I mean, you still scored a lot of points. 56 is a good amount, especially in any game, no matter what. But, yeah, I mean, you can nitpick all you want, but 56-27, I look at that, and that's a good win.
Certainly a great win here for the Vermillion Tanagers. We've been talking about it here on the post-game show as, again, Chandler Cleveland had one heck of a performance here this evening. As, again, we saw what she was able to do offensively, not just scoring-wise, but also getting rebounds as well. Got the text, not your dad, but John Cleveland a little bit here this evening. We were kind of joking back and forth about your performance, having some fun with it. But, hey, you go back, opening of the season. I know you're excited to get the season underway, but did you expect this type of performance going into it? How did it happen that just the buckets kind of fell from you wherever you were at on the court tonight?
Our coach said we have to go into every game with confidence. We know that we can do good, and it can be nerve-wracking since it's the first game, but I just said it's senior year, just go out and have fun. Well,
as you mentioned, senior year, this is back with a lot of familiar faces. I know you guys want to make another big run. How much did that make it more comfortable going into this season, having basically every face back from what you guys have seen over the past couple of years?
It was definitely a lot easier. I mean, throughout summer and just last season, we were coming back with pretty much the same team. I mean, we're missing Julisse, who is new this year, and Casey, but a lot of the girls we've been playing with for forever, so it was a lot easier, I would say.
Well, you open up in that first quarter, leading it 24-7. It seemed like from there it was just kind of easy sailing for your girls. How nice was it to see just everyone consistent in that first half and kind of build a nice lead going into halftime?
It was really nice. I mean, our team, we're all very supportive of each other, so when one person does something good, we all just kind of piggyback off of it, and it just gets us going.
Well, you were also dominant on the boards, whether it was defensively or offensively tonight. What'd you see that you're able to just snag so many rebounds, always be there for your team when they needed a rebound tonight?
I would say I just try to use my strength to my advantage. I don't know. I mean, I know that sometimes my shots won't fall, but if I work hard and try to use my strength, then it'll work for the team.
Well, you get a nice victory. What was the speech after the game from head coach John Brooks about this nice victory for the girls?
He was excited that we won, but back to hard work tomorrow.
Well, you ready to get back at it, get after the Trojans next week?
Yes, I am.
All right. Well, hey, great game, great performance. Let's see the rest of the year, all right?
Thank you.
There she is, Chandler Cleveland here on the post-game show. As we mentioned, the MVP of tonight with a great performance from her. Well, step aside. We're back in just a moment with head coach John Brooks. That's on the way next here on Live Ticket TV.
Best Western Ramkota Hotel in Aberdeen is the place to stay for business or the weekend family getaway. You'll feel right at home with ample parking, spacious guest rooms, and complimentary breakfast. And with a convenient location, you'll have easy access to local attractions and events in the area. While staying at the Best Western Ramkota, guests can enjoy an indoor water play land, an on-site Minerva's restaurant, exercise facility, wedding services, and a business center. For friendly service and a great stay, make your reservation today.
Agriculture is like no other business, which makes Farm Credit Services of America like no other lender. Owned by the farmers and ranchers we serve, our customers have a voice in how we work, a stake in what we do. and share in our success. Discover a lender that works for you at Farm Credit Services of America.
Welcome back to the Vermillion Booster Club Press Box, proud supporter of Tanager Athletics and the student athlete. Back here on the postgame show, one final time as Vermillion gets the victory 56-27 over the Canton Seahawks, open up their season with a big victory here tonight, as we're going to catch up here with John Brooks in just a moment as we got a chance to talk with Cleveland. Chandler Cleveland is the MVP of this game. We talked about her great performance here tonight. Really impressive for what she was able to do. And again, all the Vermillion Tanagers all around making that opening statement victory here of tonight before they get ready for, again, what's going to be a gauntlet coming up here in the next few games. Certainly this was going to be a tough way to start the season against the Canton Seahawks, but certainly a great performance. As again, time to join here on the postgame show with head coach John Brooks. And Coach Brooks, we knew it. We had some expectations going into it. I might have said something to you before this game started, and you just kind of chuckled at it. I think we both just made it like, all right, that's not going to happen. But in the end, I don't know if you could have drawn this one up any better. The way this game started, 24 points in that first quarter. What was with this team, and how did they have so much confidence coming out to open up the season tonight?
You know, it's something that we've just talked about leading up to the season. You know, we kind of said in the locker room before we played tonight, this is the last time that we're going to talk about last season. And but we said we knew that the only way to get that bad taste out of our mouth was to get back on the court and play. And tonight was the night that we got to do that. And these girls were they were motivated, they were ready. They really wanted to come out there in that first quarter and play well. And obviously it looks good when the shots are going down. We shot it really well, but very happy with the way we started the game.
Yeah, great start to this game tonight. And then just moving along that, we saw defensively. That second quarter got extremely choppy, but defensively you didn't let really anything inside and just continued to keep the Seahawks, I guess, out. Didn't even hit a field goal in that second quarter. How much that defense really stepped up as this game moved along?
Yeah, we have good length, and we have good athletes on the defensive end. We think we can be a very, very good defensive team. And we kind of said that in the second quarter. We didn't quite move it as well in things offensively we wanted to. We only scored 10 points in the second quarter, but we held them to 4. And, you know, if we're going to go through a few spots, you're going to go through spots in the game, the course of the game, where you're not going to score it great. But if you can keep getting stops and rebounding, you're always going to stay in it. So overall, in the second half, going kind of switching to our zone stuff, I thought that kind of threw Canton off a little bit. Overall, I thought every defense we played tonight looked pretty good. Yeah,
we talk about consistency as well. I think tonight might be a little bit of a hard night to judge consistency, especially when you don't have the stars maybe playing that entire fourth quarter as well. But what did you think of this squad's consistency tonight with the starting 5?
You know, I think a lot of it is on the defensive side, and I thought we were pretty good there and focused and ready and rebounding, and that was good to see. You know, we missed first game stuff. We missed quite a few bunnies there, especially in the second half inside that we normally would have finished. So, you know, you finish some of those, and you know your offense probably looks a little bit better. But overall, really happy with the girls, the way they played for a full 32 minutes.
Well, we talk about Chandler Cleveland's performance, but I want to go back even just this starting 5. Very consistent scoring. How nice was that to see here in game number 1?
Yeah, and you know that's something that we're going to have to but work on all year. Is we have 5 kids in our starting lineup, and they all can score it. So and they have that mentality, which is great. They're all looking at the hoop. They're all looking to score, and you know, it's just at times we probably took too many quick shots there in the second quarter, and it's just starting to learn, you know, make the extra pass, you know, turn a good pass into a good shot into a great shot, all those things. And as we move throughout the season, I think we'll continue to grow on the offensive end as well.
If you will, this is almost like a preseason game because now we're off for 8 days before we're on the road once again. So, if you will, preseason game out of the way. Now what is the rest of the look getting ready for? Okay, we have a game under our hand, under the belt. Now it's the next 8 days look like getting ready for West Central.
Yeah, you know, it's not all bad. You know, you get that first game, you get those first game jitters out, you get you remember what game shape really means, running up and down the floor, and now we get a full week of practice to fill in some holes that we need to fill in, and then next week we got 3 big ones, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, here we come, and the season really picks up.
Well, Coach, best of luck next week. Let's go get the Trojans, all right?
All right, thanks a lot, Heath.
There he is, head coach John Brooks here on the postgame show. And then just like that, it will wrap up our evening as well as, again, the Vermillion Tanager girls open up their season with the victory. 56-27 is your final for Cole Larsh. I'm Heath Nimke. We're back with you on Friday as the boys open up their season in the South Sioux City. We'll have all the coverage right here on Vermillion Tanagers Live and Live Ticket TV. Until then, have yourself a wonderful rest of your evening.